Welcome, everyone, to FMK Anime, our finale retrospective, where we will be talking about all of our shows in retrospective and announcing which shows we marry.
Specifically for the autumn or fall 2020 season.
Yes. And next week, we will be doing our award ceremony and most likely unveiling our list for the winter season, just so everyone can, be aware of what we're going to be watching, because, the week after that we'll be in the winter season.
To know what's coming.
Yes. Now, I'd like to thank my co-hosts, Gilly and Dalaron, for being here with me, and I would like to formally apologize. Some life stuff came in the way, so we're streaming a little bit later than usual.
Yee. Apologies, that one's on me.
The hostage situation with Kuma Bear is finally over.
Until spring.
One of you will have to lock it. Or leave it up to fate.
I trust Gilly.
Listen, he's gonna have to decide between Yukoku no Moriarty, Shaman King, and fucking Kuma Bear. So at least I'll know he has to put down 2 babies.
Oof.
Put it on the goddamn list.
Alrighty.
But yes, we are here with our 10 shows this week, and if you didn't know already, each week we watch an amount of shows, and at the end of the week we can cut one show. We decide which shows we're going to keep and cut from a fuck, marry, kill format. We either fuck the show or kill the show. For example, last week Ikebukuro died because it got 2 knives. But now, I think there's nowhere else to go but Adachi to Shimamura, episode
Well, before
12.
we get to that, big shout out to Team 4-Star for creating this format and actually allowing us to continue the series. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. Big shout out to them. And also,
go ahead.
An anonymous source gave me that we actually, it wasn't a shout out per se, but we were kind of mentioned in one of their Among Us streams. So,
Yeah.
Yay.
TFS Senpai is noticing us. Also, hi, I'm Dalaron. Just so you know who you're listening to, as always, come catch us at twitch.tv/Dalaron Quest. That's DALARON Quest. Gonna make this really brief. If you're catching this on YouTube, pop by, give me a follow, give us a follow, see us streaming this show on Mondays in the afternoon or evening. Join our Discord, see what's happening in there, and I'm doing a little bit of Outer Worlds, and I'm going to be doing a few new series maybe coming this or next week. But most importantly, I put out a voice reel and a character demo reel. I would love it for you guys to go check it out, give it some views, share it. Sharing it would be amazing because that is literally how people find out about other people. And dropping some feedback. That'd be dope. Also, say hi, Gilly.
Hi, Gilly.
Funny joke. Alright, mate, I think we's ready to talk about the Adolchis and the Shimamura's.
I am. That's the wrong thing. Here are my notes. Adachi to Shimamura, episode 12. Adachi goes over to Shimamura's place to bond and hang out for a couple days, while little Shimamura seems jealous. Adachi and Shimamura have a lot of cute moments and sleep in the same bed. As well, they change desks, and Shimamura claims Adachi to be her very own cherry blossom.
And it's extra cute because cherry blossoms are representative and symbolic of new beginnings and hope and future and youth.
Yeah. And I'm happy the show didn't end with them getting together, because if it did, it would have felt very untrue to at least Shimamura's character.
I disagree, but I also understand where you're coming from.
It would not make sense for Shimamura, who has shown no romantic interest, to immediately go, well, not immediately, but to all of a sudden go, okay, I guess we're dating now.
I mean, part of me was expecting Adachi to pull her. Also, I'm looking at the still we're using for this season, and just part of it just looks like a Shimomura looking at Adachi is like, yeah, totally fucked your brains out, right? Just,
Yeah, that still out of context is definitely giving that vibe, but yeah, no, I completely disagree. I think the ending was perfectly in line with the characters, and I like an ambitious ending like that because
You mean
behind the
ambitious
scenes,
or ambiguous?
ambiguous. Because behind the scenes, I did do research. This adapted all of the light novel. Uh, However, the novelist has gone on to say how her personal experience went on after that, but she didn't want to adapt into a light novel. She wanted people to come to their own conclusions. So I did a little bit of research on it after the finale, and that was interesting to me. And I personally thought this worked out really well because it's left ambiguous because they it showed them becoming closer as friends, definitely, and just closer in general. And it shows you can see a good line in where their friendship goes, and if whether or not it blossoms into a relationship. In
See, I'm past the point of liking ambiguity in my shows. Like, I want definitive answers. Like, I want to know what's happening.
oh, Dalar, on your, I think
Hello?
you cut out.
Ah, fuck. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
I said, I get where you're coming from, and when you put it this way, I'm a little less. So, jumping the gun, since we're talking about the ending right away, I find the conclusion of the episode to be underwhelming, and because it's ambiguous. And we've had the will they, won't they, the whole series, and I kind of wanted there to be a payoff at the end. I kind of wanted there to be a conclusion because they handled so much of the subject matter correctly that I was really curious to see how they will not end it, because this kind of thing doesn't end, but where will they connect it? Like, how will they sign off on this story? And it was, don't get me wrong, it was incredibly sweet, it was incredibly emotional, it was so soft. uh, it's just, I don't know, I mean, I guess I'll just jump into my final thoughts now. I thought it was incredibly cute, just so cute, from her sister being jealous to her mom. Well, we'll talk about those two soon, but just like, it was a really good culmination of everything, majority of the things we've seen this season. But also the ending, like, it was what I feared. Like, they were just gonna leave it ambiguous and, like, with no concise, conclusion or definition to their relationship, and it was unsatisfying. Like,
See, oh, sorry.
eh, the yeah, if you want to go ahead.
I was gonna say, see, that's where I disagree because and this is entirely the fault of almost every romance piece of media ending at either the kiss or the date, and that a romance story doesn't have to end at that, and it doesn't have to necessarily get to that. It's As someone that has taken writing classes, there are many different narrative structures, and there's been the will they won't they this whole season, but honestly, thinking of it in retrospective, it's a will they, won't they, but it never really, especially on Shimomura's side, there was never any romantic interest from her, especially as she actively, like, oh, okay, it's more familial to her. And it's honestly, thinking about it in retrospective, they've really done nothing for at least Shimomura to jump into that romance. I think it's good it left it ambiguous because it would have felt forced if they started, going out or dating. I will admit it would have been nicer if Adachi admitted her feelings, but that also I think would have been not to her character because she's still really nervous, and these feelings, like this episode, was basically her acceptance of, okay, I do want something to come out of this. Well, she's accepted she's had feelings before. This was her acceptance of, no, I want something more. And she does, get a bit more like wanting and ask more from Shimamura. And I think the ending served really well because Shimamura sees Adachi as this really good friend, and Adachi sees Shimamura in this really romantic light, and you're left to your own devices to if you personally think that will eventually blossom into a relationship or if it will just stay a friendship.
Yeah, see,
And
I don't need to be left to my own devices. I can write, I have my own writing and character stuff. Like, I can make up my own shit to be left with my own devices. I want a story. I want an ending. I want to know what happens with these characters I've emotionally invested in for the last 12 weeks.
But sometimes you don't need that concrete ending. It's a lot of this show has been reading into the themes of it, reading between the lines. That's what a lot of this show has been. And if you have to do that for the ending too, I think that's just perfectly in line with the show. There are plenty of shows that never give you a concrete answer, like Cowboy Bebop. Fucking, I can't think of another one off the top of my head, but Cowboy Bebop is the big one.
I know it's hard to write an ending for a story, and I know it's incredibly hard to write a good ending, and it's like an objectively satisfying ending to the story. But this to me, this wasn't it. Like, don't get me wrong, this was still a great episode, but it would have been way better if this was like episode number 10, not replacing episode 10, but of like this was like, is there a season 2? Because like this is what episode 10 should have been, like them getting close and then us seeing it like seeing them exposate and expound. There we go. Seeing them expound further on their relationship in the last 2 episodes. That's what I was hoping for, at least.
Then it would have just been every other cookie cutter romance anime.
No, it's not, because this show's already done so much work on becoming great. On just putting so much emphasis on the intricate emotional anxieties and all other like mental and emotional contexts for each of these characters. It's just
That's getting to the kiss or the date wasn't what this show was ever intending to do. I've realized that in hindsight, because looking back at all the other episodes, it's never been trying to get to that point. It's been trying to push these characters to get closer and get you to this ending. I think it's incredibly satisfying because I enjoy shows that leave you with an ambiguity, because those shows often end up being really good. Like I mentioned before, Cowboy Bebop, it left you with an ambiguous ending, and I enjoyed that. Gurren Lagann is another one. This one I haven't seen, but I know of the ending. It's what's that one? It's another mecha anime, not Code Geass.
G Gundam.
No, it's not G Gundam either. It's the really famous one.
Darling in the Franxx.
No, not Darling in the Franxx. Fuck, it's
Spaceship Yamamoto.
No, it's the one where all the memes come from. The da 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 da.
Oh, Evangelion. Yeah.
Evangelion, yeah. Evangelion left you with an ending like that. And
yeah, but then Evangelion had fucking 3 or 4 spin-offs. Or, like, continuations.
It had 3 or 4 movies because the fans kept crying about the ending.
Exactly! It wasn't good!
Okay.
Also, Chad is saying that Bebop had a closed circuit ending.
It still leaves it ambiguous of if fucking what's his name? The main guy dies or not. If you've been on YouTube for 5 minutes, you've seen all the fucking theory videos.
Yeah, but it's a different kind of show, right? Like, that's a different kind of show.
Yes, this show is different from that. I think you're looking at this from this standard narrative structure of romance.
I'm not. Like, if I were to take a more objective take, I think this show is really good, and I still recommend it to people. But when I recommend Adachi to Shimamura to other people, I will preface, just a heads up, it's an open-ending show. So if you get really invested in the relationship, it's not really gonna hit all those notes that you're hoping for. Because that's how I feel.
I just think that's not what the show was trying to do. I don't think it was trying to get to the kiss or anything like that. It's
I mean, they
this
keep
ending
teasing it.
works. This ending works for the kind of show it is. It's
The thing about this show is that it highlights a lot of really important and powerful emotional states, whether it be anxiety, social ostracization, kind of like this disconnection from your parents, and then feelings of love, attraction, and sexuality. And it handles all those things really well. But what's really important in all of those things in the overall process of life is closure. And you can't have Adachi 3 times attempting or thinking about kissing Shimomura, specifically when she's doing it while she's asleep, which is a big no no. It's a big no no. And not have closure at the end. Like
that
this story is an amazing story about 2 characters plus a really nice small cast of support characters dealing with finding themselves and figuring out that both themselves and their place with other people. And I think that's great. It's just a shame that we're not getting anything at the very end of it.
this
Apart
show has
apart apart from the usual really feel good, soft, fluffy, well written and poetic symbolism and exposition.
that's that's the thing. This show has often been about its symbolism, and it when it comes to Shimamura specifically, it leaves her feelings about things ambiguous a lot, especially her feelings towards Adachi. Until recently, we didn't know if Adachi was one of those friends that she would just stop hanging out with.
That's another thing we disagree with. I, from the very beginning, was saying that no, they're really forming a genuine bond, and Shimomura is finding something genuine with Adachi. She just is scared of the emotional investment as well as the potential attraction that might come because she does see through it eventually, or she does acknowledge it. She just pushes it away because she herself is scared of disappointing her or like not being there because that's what imposter syndrome is and the depression is that you start thinking you're going to push people away so much that eventually they're all going to leave you or you're going to leave them and hurt them. So you no, you think that you're going to end up hurting them, so you think why bother, so you leave before you can do that, of course hurting them in the process just like you feared. I complained that in the middle of the season, like around episode 7, 8, or like 8, 9, and 10, nothing fucking happens. We just get the 3 episodes of Adachi doing the same shit each fucking episode. If they didn't do that, and they just let her have the character progression from one episode to another that we see in this episode, and then in this episode we see this happen at episode 10, and 11 and 12 we found a more intimate and profound. I didn't need the kiss. I didn't need them to end up together, but we had something at the end, concrete, and something happened, something real. If this story was took the simulation, took the incredibly realistic characters a step further and actually allowed something to bloom from them other than beautiful symbolic poetry, I would have liked that.
I think what they did was just enough, and if they did any more, this would have been a different show. And I think that kind of ending would have actively hurt it because this show is a accurate depiction of real life and something that everyone has to learn in life. You're not going to get closure for everything. Closure is kind of bullshit at the end of the day. Like,
That's just because people suck at communicating.
ask. I know a lot of people that have lost relatives, and almost everyone lost relatives. I know someone that lost their girlfriend in a car accident once, and almost all of them have told me that after years they came to the conclusion that sometimes you just don't get closure for something, and that's something that everyone has to accept at some time, and that's kind of what I liked about this ending. It doesn't provide closure, and at the end of the day, sometimes in life you don't get closure.
I was gonna make a mean joke about, well, of course they can't. See, they're bad at communicating. They're fucking dead. But condolences. That is one of the hardest things about getting over the loss of someone's life that is close to you is the fact that that closure doesn't come because it is unexpected and unplanned. So that is an incredibly difficult thing to go through, and As the title says, this is being done in 2020, where so many people have had to deal with that. So, just on behalf of all of us, I feel I can say our condolences, and we wish you the best in dealing with that loss at whatever pace you need to. But in relationships,
I
you
just
can you need to learn
I
how to communicate. These kids
personally
are
I
15, 16. They of course don't know how to communicate, but and that's the whole thing. But like, yeah, regardless, I hear you. And we've been talking a bit in circles. Like, I feel my way, you feel your way, which is perfectly fine. No one here is right and wrong. It's just two different people experiencing the same art in different ways. That being said, Gilly, oh Gilly, how did you feel about this episode of Adachi to Shimamura?
This show is bad and it makes me feel bad.
Need you to talk a little bit more into your mic. You're very quiet.
This show is bad and it makes me feel bad.
Now, is the show bad because it makes you feel bad, or does it make you feel bad because the show is bad?
Both. It's a never ending circle of pain.
So, unlike the plot and the ending of Cowboy Bebop, this is not. Wait, hold on. If it's a closed circuit, doesn't it mean it does go round and round? Or is that an open circuit? I don't know it.
It is
I'm
never
assuming there's
ending
nothing in this
pain,
episode that.
and it's finally over.
oh boy, I can't wait. Novelist writes another novel, then we get a season 2. Let's go.
Nope.
Is this adapted all of the novel, and do you guys want me to say how it ended in the novelist's experience?
Sure. This stream is very much. This podcast is very much
So
a
this
very
might
much
be why the ending worked for me. The novelist never told her friend that she felt that way about her, and her friend ended up with someone else.
See, that sucks.
Yeah,
Not
and I
sucks
think
as a
that's
story,
why,
just sucks as a personal experience.
and that's why I think that was a good ending for this show in hindsight, because sometimes life just doesn't work out. It's life. It's not all going to be sunshine and rainbows. That's kind of what I like about it.
All right, so Gilly's probably not going to talk a lot about the show or episode, seeing as it's been kind of a running joke that Gilly just sits here and waits for us to finish, which makes me feel bad saying out loud. But it's just this is not for him. So instead, I'll bring it over to something else. So Meep, oh Meep,
Yeah.
Shimamura has a dad. Ha!
The show waited until the last moment to tell me. I've already skipped town, got a new haircut. I've gotten laser eye surgery to make it so I need glasses, and I've become a different person. The police are after me. I am very scared.
Shimamura's mom has a dad. So you've been trying to attempt to court her into committing adultery.
Well, of course Shimamura's mom has a dad, Dalaran. How do you think Shimamura's mom would have been born?
Damn it. Is that what I said? Fuck.
Yes, that's what you fucking said.
God damn it. But yeah, Shimamura has a dad. He doesn't have a face, just a back, and he eats dinner with them once in a while. Adachi meets him. I don't think he even has a fucking line.
That was my self-insert. Now that this season's over, I do have a question for you.
What was that?
I do have a question for you now that the season's over. What the
Oh?
fuck was with that boy at the pool? He never came back again.
Who cares? He sucked.
He did. It's just I expected him to have a role.
No.
Not just show up for that gag.
His role was that men are gross. So, let's talk about...
Hashtag not all men.
Hashtag not all men. Well, if you're not part of those men, you wouldn't feel the need to have to hashtag not all men, would you?
So I just don't like sweeping generalizations.
But that's actually true.
Okay,
Yeah.
I don't like sweeping generalizations sometimes.
Well, now that just sounds like you're cherry picking. Moving on. This is the finale.
Everyone
There's
cherry
going to be a bunch of hot takes. I don't mind taking them outside of anime. Dragon Ball Z isn't as good. Anyway, let's talk about Shimamuro's mom.
Okay.
She is simultaneously a good mom and a bad mom.
She's the overbearing Japanese mom stereotype. It's nothing new to me.
Bro, like, yo, Shima's mom Shimamaru was going in. Shima's mom was going in on her on during dinner or lunch, or I guess it was breakfast. It was breakfast. Just fucking shitting on her daughter right in front of her friend's slash girlfriend's face. Like, what the fuck?
Done. I was fully expecting Adachi to start chewing out Shimamura's mom, but that would have been out of her character. So
You're right. You're right. I was kind of hoping we'd get the same thing. You know how like Shima chewed out Adachi's mom, and now Adachi's gonna chew out Shima's mom. But like, I was just sitting there, and I'm like, yo, like, if my mom, like, one of the like, if my mom did that, I would have even more reasons to go to therapy.
Oh.
Like,
Now I'm sad.
devaluing your child, your child, your daughter, your son in front of their peers, let alone their closest friend, is super damaging to someone's like mental health and self-image.
As someone that has that happen to them, yes, it is.
So, but like, mom obviously cares and she wants what's best for her daughter in a very Japanese way. You know, it's just like, oh well, it's what people expect of you, and I expect it of you too. But she's just like, yeah, my daughter's a delinquent. She's stupid. Her grades suck. I bet she doesn't go to school. You seem nice though, and I'm like, what the fuck are you? What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Oh, I wonder why Shimamura's fucking depressed.
Maybe it's because her father figure is basically non-existent.
No, just because this is an all-woman cast.
I mean, that's standard for every fucking Japanese family. The father is usually at work all the time until they work him dead. That's usually how it goes.
No. Someone getting work dead is in Jujutsu Kaisen, but we'll get to that.
Hey.
That being said, Shima's mom does care, and she does want what's best for her daughter. She's just kind of shitty at it. I also can't tell what Mama Shimamaru's age is, because she acts a little childish sometimes, and like, while it's cute when you think about how that's making her daughter feel, it's really not. But the whole bento box thing for both her and Adachi was really cute. Like, the episode ends with them going to school and like her mom handing both of them a little cutely wrapped bento box, and she does want to make sure that her daughter is well fed and taken care of despite her negative opinion of her own daughter. It's just, I mean, like many things in life, it's complicated.
Yeah. It's I actually really like Shimamura's mom because she actually reminds me of my mom in a lot of ways. And yeah, it's I don't know. The show is good. It's written very well, very humanistic. It's not for everyone. I'm not going to disparage anyone for not liking it, but if you're looking at it at an objective light of quality, it's definitely up there. I wouldn't say it's MMO junkie levels. I wouldn't say that because MMO junkie, one, they're two different stories. It's hard to compare them, but two, it's just there's this spark of like nerd culture that MMO junkie lit in me. So, but it's still really cute. I really like it. Oh, also MMO junkies, adult characters, which I can relate to these characters in high school, but I can also relate to the adult characters too. It's I I like this show. I'm gonna fuck this. I'm gonna fuck this episode, but Adachi Toshimamura, I'm sorry, I can't marry you. I would be lying to everyone else and myself if I married you. I'm sorry.
Come on, Gilly, pull a fast one on us. Tell us you're gonna marry Adachi Toshimamura right now and just blow the whole fucking FMK out the water.
What?
Just the faintest what? I don't think even chat. I don't think the stream even picked that up.
Are you are you, are you gonna kill? Are you gonna kill or marry this show, Gilly? Tell us. We need to know.
Gonna kill it. I was busy looking at memes.
Hmm.
What are you, Adachi or Shimamura?
No, that's Hino.
Oh my god, Hino is the fucking meme lord shit poster of the group, isn't she?
Yes. Her and Nakafuji also have the best relationship of the season, but we'll get there.
Nagafuji went down on Hino in the bath.
Probably.
That's the thing, even their relationship is left open ended, though theirs is much more considerably understood.
It's much more open and stated.
Yeah. I myself am gonna fuck this episode, but alas, Adachi Toshimamura, while you are absolutely gorgeous and you are a delight to see, the animation style is so soft. Um, the emotions are so soft. The moments throughout this episode were delightful, and the way they drew each character differently depending on from whose perspective we're seeing, making Shimamura much more mature looking with like flushed lips and her hair being sensually messy, if that makes sense, like someone who's like leaning over you with their hair down after perhaps a tussle in a soft furniture that is present in one's personal room and quarters. Uh, it's all delightful. Everything was a really nice touch in this episode. The visual, the metaphoric imagery that comes with it, from the sakura blossoms, like we said, meaning new beginnings, and Shimamura calling Adachi her sakura blossom is so cute and so soft and so great. It's just I love this show. It didn't end on on a strong point as I had hoped it would have. But again, I can only judge the show for what it did do, not what it didn't. As it stands, they will almost certainly end up together. Story, but the story was really well told. I love people racing down a 4-lane street in a residential neighborhood. More of
Mike
that,
didn't even pick
please.
that up, so
Yeah, because I let go of it as soon as I heard the engine rev. Anyway, as it stands, the story was Adachi Toshimamura. You have a story that is really well told, and the feelings that you express are genuine to the point that it makes people, or some people, uncomfortable. Looks at Gilly. But I've said this from the beginning, I'll say this now. I respect and appreciate that as well as the show in its entirety. Again, I kind of wish there was a season 2 so we get some more, concreteness. But if that's not what the show's going to be, that's not what the show's going to be.
we might, for all we know, the novelist might adapt the second part I mentioned of how she never eventually took it and her friend ended up with someone else. We might get that.
I don't want that. I'd rather, personally, if I'm talking from an emotionally impulsive perspective, I would rather have an open ending than a mean spirited ending at this point, because that's just the author.
I wouldn't say that's mean spirited. I'd say that could be, if told in the right way, it would be a depressing ending, but it could also be a very human and wholesome ending of Adachi using that as a learning point. Like, no, I do have to take the line more now. An ending like that doesn't have to be mean spirited.
If I have to choose between sad ending, or like if I have to choose between bad ending and no ending, or like open ending, I will choose open ending because I don't want to get my heart hurt. I also don't want to
Then
sit
don't,
through 6 more hours of the show only to get my heart hurt.
then don't watch any Yoshiki.
That's a different show. Also,
Well,
no one mentioned this, but the ping pong ball at the end, just the final frame that is now you guys are seeing, is just such a nice nod to the very beginning of the season. And it's very interesting to see, while not giving you a concrete and concise ending, the show still referencing everything that has happened through the show's run and through this season in little visual ways. Them eating lunch with Nagafuji and Hino, Shimomura becoming closer friends with them again and reconnecting despite not having to anymore. Adachi being more vocal with her time with Shimomura. It's just those. There's still a lot of really good, great, even little nuance moments. And if anything, the show does is nuance. If anything, the show does well, it's nuance. Also, little sister being jealous of Adachi coming over and almost kissing her sister and taking her sister away from her is really genuine and cute and accurate to life.
the alien never served a purpose in the story.
The alien serves the purpose of being cute.
I just want to point that out.
She is 800 million years old. What do you want from her?
I wanted her to be an actual part of the story.
Nah, she's old. She's old. Let her rest.
With a child. Okay. Anyway, before I say anything that'll get us Twitch banned,
I will say
let's-
this, Adachi Tashimamura, I do love you, but I cannot marry you.
it's gonna be real awkward if we marry the same show Dalaran. Uh, well, beyond that, let's move on to our first retrospective show, Yokoku no Moriarty. This show, top to bottom, except for episode 6, or was it episode 5 that was the Dancing on the Bridge one?
You're still wrong.
I'm not! That was such a poorly told story!
You're still wrong. Tell him,
They did
Gilly.
nothing with anything with it.
It did what it was supposed to do. It served its purpose.
Of introducing two characters that would have been better not having a famous story to be alongside it.
Its purpose was introducing the rest of the ensemble and also breaking our fucking hearts.
They could have done that with a made up story and probably had it better. Not used one of the most famous ones.
They did
Anyway,
a fine job with it.
I have to respectfully disagree. But anyways,
You can respectfully be wrong.
well, you're respectfully wrong about Adachi Toshimamura.
No.
Yes.
Riveting conversation, guys. You are true professionals in the field.
God damn it! I just saw chat. She's not a lolly. They never sexualize.
Thank God they never sexualized the little sister or the alien in Adachi Toshimamura, but yeah. Moriarty.
Thank God they always sexualize Sherlock and Moriarty.
Oh, yeah. Remember how I said, damn it, I know we just got done with Adachi, but the way Adachi sexualizes Shimomura in her mind, my God, that bathtub scene, Shimomura looked like she was like 26, if not like in her 30s. I was like, oh, okay, Adachi. Anyway, Sherlock Holmes. I'm sorry, Sherlock Homies. Moriarty and the Sherlock Homies.
Don't bring that movie to light, Dalaran. That was a
What?
bad Will Ferrell movie.
Oh, what?
I say this each time you say Holmes. Sherlock Holmes, or not Sherlock Holmes. Will Ferrell made a movie with the other actor that was in Step Brothers called Holmies, and its fucking trailer was The Step Brothers Unite in a classic tale of Sherlock and Watson.
Nah, I'm good.
It's a bad movie, and this Sherlock is much better. It's so weird because it feels like halfway through the series, we barely see Moriarty, and it's all Sherlock, and it's this feels more like a Sherlock show in the later half than it does Moriarty because we've got more episodes with Sherlock that have to do with the main plot than we have with Moriarty.
This season. Oh, go ahead, Gilly, if you want to go.
What about Sherlock Gnomes?
Okay.
God damn it. No.
The Romeo and Juliet sequel, Sherlock Gnomes.
If anything that this season has shown us is how powerfully effective good character writing can be. And the first 2/3 of the season, first half, if not 2/3 of the season, sets up Moriarty and his band. And then, regardless, this is a Sherlock property, so you need to have Sherlock well established. And I personally really like how they did it. They simultaneously assume that you. Sorry, I cut out. They simultaneously assume that you have a level of familiarity with Sherlock while still treating it as if you have none at all. They introduce the character, they express his character and personality in key moments, but everything else is just getting carried away within the charisma that is Sherlock Holmes. And I really wish we didn't have to have a second season. I wish we could just continue right into it because, again, unsatisfying conclusion to the first season. Like, just, okay, you have everything set. The stage is set. The game is afoot. Oh, we're going to take a break for a season? Okay.
I think it was the
Gotta
fact
put
that
it off on
it,
a cliffhanger.
yeah. I think it was the fact that it hit us like a truck that it kind of didn't sit right. Like if I would have went into that knowing that was the last episode, I would have been a bit better with it. But at the same time, it was like, bam, hit with a truck. That was the ending. I guess. All right.
I mean, to be fair, we don't know what's happening behind the scenes. Maybe a lead director or animator or anyone on the staff got sick with COVID, or something happened within the studio, or a budget shift, or I don't know if anime works like video games, but the publisher, the producer, pulled the brakes. Who knows? But I would have loved another episode this week.
They did they did change it from 12 to 11 episodes with 13 in the second part.
Yeah. So
So it was supposed to be 12 each, and they changed it very last minute, so probably something did come up.
yeah, either something came up or they realized, shit, we can't do another episode without leaving it on a not good feeling cliffhanger because for all we know, the next episode, the next story they would have started telling would have been really intricate and ended on something that would be bad for a cliffhanger.
I want you to know that. Sorry, hold on. I want you to know that chat is also popping off about the movie Homies, where Limus is, oh fuck, that movie is fucking
Yes, that movie is bad.
And a few people in chat don't like also feel the same way about Adachi as Gilly does, where they feel personally attacked. So they're like, "I'm back. Stop talking about Adachi. I wish to enjoy the Moriarty."
Thank you for standing with me.
People just don't like good character writing, Dalaran.
I'm not gonna say
No, I just
anything
don't
because
like
we're gonna
crappy shows.
It's not a crappy show.
Gilly. Come
It
on.
is.
Also, Gilly, you watch Kuma Bear, so you can't talk about crappy shows.
No. Gilly
I've
watches
watched
Fruit Tart.
I watch plenty of slice of life and romance, and this is the only one that I am going to actively make myself forget it in the next week. I'm going to repress it to the point where I don't remember the name.
Just wait till we get that School Days ripoff and I lock it.
Oh yeah.
Or not ripoff. School Days reboot and I lock it.
And that's when I leave. Chat is chanting for you to marry Kuma. The question is, are they chanting for Gilly to marry Kuma Bear or for Meep to upset the group and upset the stream by marrying Kuma?
I'm not. Let us continue with Moriarty. I wish to not talk about Kuma yet. We will get there.
Gilly, this was your lock. So I really want to hear your thoughts, man. I love that Moriarty's right after Adachi to Shimamura because you care about this show a lot, and I really want to know like where you sit looking back at it, especially after a week of not getting an episode.
Koku no Moriarty, or Moriarty the Patriot, did exactly what I wanted.
Fucking hate
It
that
spent the
English
first
translation.
half. I love it. I absolutely love it.
I mean, it makes sense now, in hindsight. But
It
come
spent,
on,
but yeah, it spent its first half establishing Moriarty, and it spent its second half establishing Sherlock, getting everything all set up with a little conclusion episode of them meeting up and working together, showing their talents together, really setting up for when you know they're going to have to be pitted against each other, and it does exactly what I wanted. It gives the really good dynamic between the two characters that I was hoping for. It gives me
Mm-hmm.
my light and dynamic that I wanted.
Oh yeah, it sets it up really well. I'm really happy with how their dynamic goes. It's just unfortunate it has to come at the cost of the other side characters.
yeah. What
I literally
happens
picked this
to?
show with hopes that this would be exactly where it went.
I just wish we got more from, especially Albert, but Albert, Lewis, and the rest of them. I mean, for fuck's sakes, the Colonel and Fred gets more than both Lewis and Albert. Also, just to continue being
Don't
the
talk crap
contrarian
about
tonight,
Sebastian, though, man.
apparently. Sorry. Also, just to continue being the contrarian tonight, you guys keep making the Light and L or the Kira and L dynamic comparison. I don't fucking see it. Like, I have no idea what you're talking about. They're very much different characters. Okay, I can see it for. I can.
It's not the characters
Characters.
individually. It's how they bounce off of each
Yeah.
other.
Oh, think for this down run. Think around the times in Death Note where L and Light were working together. Think that. That's like that peak of their dynamic is what it gives me vibes. 'Cause, they're always trying to get into each other's heads. They're always trying to be one step like in front of each other. Like that sort of thing. Or not always trying to be one step in front of each other. They're always weary of each other.
Okay, so if you mean in the sense of like two brilliant individuals combating each other on a cerebral level, then yeah, cool. Also, chat's like, why
It,
the fuck? Chat's asking, why the hell do we care about Albert so much? He does nothing. To which, yeah, Death Reality is like, he does nothing. He just has fucking money. Fucking money. Also, no, he didn't kill one person. He killed three people: his mom, dad, and son, and brother,
yeah, but he
plus
only
everyone
killed
else.
one with his bare hands.
Yeah. Listen, I want Albert to get more death. That's specifically the reason why we care so much. We want him to have more. Yeah. Do you guys have anything else to say?
Yeah, Albert is severely underrepresented in the story. They set him up really interesting with this kind of like moral disconnect from his class and his peers, and it was really interesting and visually engaging to see how he literally, much like Shimamura, ironically, just blots out people in his mind that he despises for being just, you know, awful. And I wanted to see more of that. As for the
You know that
story
Albert
itself,
is.
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Albert's supposed to have military experience.
Right, I forgot about that. They're a military family.
Yep,
Do you think
part
they
of
fought?
everything that's supposed to be part of Alberta's. He's supposed to have enlisted for a period.
Do you think he fought in the French Revolution or British Revolution? I mean, or American Revolution?
When do you think the Victorian period was, Meep?
During French Revolution times, actually.
Yeah. Also, I don't even know. I'm not entirely sure. I might need to date. We might have to date check that because. Anyway, regardless. But yeah, Victorian England was before the colonies, or invasion of the Eastern Hemisphere, Western Hemisphere.
What do you mean? The French were in Canada before then. You guys came here. You guys copied us. You fuckers.
You
Stealing our
fuckers.
ideas.
But yeah, no. This show is gorgeous. Yeah, go ahead, Gilly.
Say anything.
That wasn't Gilly, that was me. I said we'll burn down your White House again.
God damn it. Anyway, before we get everyone up in arms, literally, yeah, this show is great. I enjoyed it so much. At the beginning of this anime season, I was apprehensive because I had literally no idea. It could be fucking awful and just wank, or it could be cerebral and brilliant and engaging, and it strongly leans to the latter. Um, the while I still want more out of it. I kind of wish they went really into their inner workings and machinations of their minds. I'm hoping we'll see a lot more of that in season 2, but I'm not really holding my breath because this show likes to explain things and present things on very pretty platters, and I enjoyed the theatricalness of it. But I do wish it was more, even more cerebral, more cognitive, more in depth with people's psyches and the way they figure things out and deconstruct people while simultaneously deconstructing themselves. Regardless, the show is absolutely gorgeous. The expressions, the lighting, and most importantly, the environments in this show are a delight to look at, and the characters, the theatricalness only helps them be even more charismatic. So this show, I'm excited for season 2, and I hope one of us locks it when it comes out, because I will still be watching it. It is delightful, and I want to see more. I severely missed it this week.
Yeah, I missed it too. It was really fun. It was a big surprise to me, but alas, this is still not the one not my betrothed.
Alas, Moriarty, while understandable, they had personal things they needed to take care of. They had to step away from the relationship and take some time for themselves and their personal matters. Unfortunately, that has put the possibilities of an engagement on hold. So, alas, Moriarty, I'll hopefully see you in season 2, and maybe we can continue this relationship then.
Any final thoughts from you, Gilly?
I can't tell if Gilly is getting on one knee and his knees and back are hurting, or if he's looking for the escape from this room.
Oh no, this is my married show.
Hey!
Hey! Dun, 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 dun.
It was between this
Congratulations!
and what it was between this and one other one, and I preferred to go with this.
Oh, you two look so cute together. Ah, the wedding's gonna be so fun.
What wedding?
You're marrying the show, right?
Maybe he just prefers to have a civil union.
It is. It is
We're
pretty.
going to Vegas.
Oh. Huh. Is there a
We're
Sherlock
gonna have
series that
Elvis
takes place in
officiate.
Vegas? Hmm. I actually don't know if there's a Sherlock series that takes place in Vegas. But guys, do you want to know what doesn't take place in Vegas?
Hold on. Before we transition, Chad is shouting out, "Gil, you're getting a bunch of yays, good gillies, and fine gilly even." And also chat saying, someone's going to die at the wedding.
It'll be me for the pain I put Gilly through. I was the one that locked Adachi, so. Anyways. Majin Tabi Tabi doesn't take place in Vegas.
But though.
It probably would have been more entertaining if it did. What is there to even say? Like, there's a lot to say. I'm struggling to find anything to say about it that I haven't said already at length.
Is there a lot to say though?
The show's really pretty. It had a lot of cool and new ideas that it executed in ways. It definitely executed ideas in.
The show is really pretty, and it had many good ideas that it executed in various ways, in varying degrees of ways.
Each episode, it did just barely enough for me until the finale that I thought was completely ridiculous. The finale was the worst episode to me personally. It's just the fact that, an episodic series, its finale, it's usually not going to be great. The story itself was uninteresting. I was wrong at the time because I thought the two Elenas were naked in bed together. I thought there was a bit weirdness going on there, but I was wrong with that.
What? Wait, what'd you
And
say?
then the whole we talked about last Graveyard Tour. Two Elenas were in bed together, and because of the way the blouse is drawn, you can't really tell they're wearing anything.
Ah, yes. Self-cessed.
And then there was Then there was the whole thing of the Elena traveling with amnesia Elena, which seemed really phoned in, and why couldn't this series have been just that? That probably would have been more entertaining. I don't know. Other than that, I don't have much else to say about it. Other than Fran was the best part of the show, and the show would have been better if it was Fran's journey, or if it was Elena's journeys with Fran.
But that's, again, not what the show is, and that's not what the show's supposed to be, so it just doesn't work.
It doesn't work, yeah, but it's just.
This show is your lock, Dalaran. How do you feel?
Disappointed.
Yeah.
I feel really disappointed. I don't feel let down because unfortunately, the show didn't even build up so much good faith of me to let me down. But I was thinking about this last night about how, like how do I feel about Majo no Tabi Tabi? Like, I think I was thinking about it as I was going to sleep. No, I was thinking about it as I was waking up today. Or, like, I think I got woken up by my neighbor making a lot of noise, so, like, I think I rolled over and those were my thoughts. Anyway, some point of the sleeping process within the last 24 hours, I was thinking about this show. And it's...
Every night in my dreams, I see you.
And I was thinking about, like, what am I going to say about the show? The show is very pretty, but honestly, while I'm disappointed in the show but not let down, I am actually let down by the visuals of the show. Sirens. Whoop, whoop, is the sound of the police. While the EMTs have come to defend the Majo no Tabi Tabis. Yeah, I don't understand why it's like one of the top tier animes of this season. There's so many people raving about it. Again, maybe it's not for me. Again, I wanted to love this show, not just like it, but love it. But at the end, I didn't even like it. I actively disliked it with its weird fetish humor that, again, no problem if that's your fetish, but like they do it for like slapstick's sake and it makes it sound and feel really cheap and kind of like token. And the visuals, while the cities were gorgeous, there was not enough variety. We never got to that elven forest treehouse. At least none of the that was like those city in the trees. We never had that. Like the teaser trailer looked better than the show. The moments it did look great, it looked amazing, and there are things that I saw in the show that I will be adapting to my own Dungeon and Dragon writings and setting pieces and my own imagery and imagination. But the main character is detestable as far as I go. Not detestable, that might be too much, but she sucks. Elena sucks. I often make the joke on stream and out of the stream when talking with other people and friends about her, but like, who sucks Elena's dick more, the show or she herself? Like, I don't get it. And as far as like the other characters in the show, like you mentioned Fran, Fran is a good character. We like Fran. Fran in any other show isn't that interesting. She's nothing that unique. She doesn't save the show. She makes the show better. Her design is great. The overall outfit designs of Tabi Tabi are gonna probably go down in like anime fandom history. The hats, the charms, the aesthetics, the accents. Fran's hat and cloak having this like nighttime, starry night kind of, not Van Gogh's Starry Night, but actual like star-filled sky aesthetic. Gorgeous. Fran, pretty, cool. Kind of, doesn't do much.
In any other show, we would have got more Fran and probably more character for Fran. That's I'm judging her on the basis of imagining if she was in the show more, with
This
given more time and more room to breathe.
this show gives me nothing. This show it doesn't have a large focus on characters because it's an episodic journey show. Okay, less characters, main character, no character development or growth. Has it one episode, completely fucking gone the next. Okay, environments. Yes, pretty environments, but they don't explore the environments. It's just fucking there. And, as far as like concepts go, some of them were good, but I was never wowed. I was never engaged. I was never not once was I taken on an actual magical journey, except maybe, just maybe, that one episode with Time Witch when they go back and like the best to make the most engaging episode and experience for me, they had to make a child fucking murderer, like a murderous child. And that's an ace in the hole. Like that's a strong card to play. So of course it's gonna have an effect. But
Yeah, it's. I can understand why it's like 7.5, 7.4. It's a good. It's for a turn your brain off and just enjoy the ride. It's a good show, but we're forced because of because of how we do this. We're forced to look at it objectively through a lens of scrutiny. So it's kind of hard to not look at the flaws or expect more out of it because this is at the end of the day we're looking at objective quality, and while it people may enjoy it objectively, it is a episodic show, so the character development is going to carry over. Its stories are going to be like story of the week, that kind of element. It did just barely enough for me each episode, but then the finale kind of took all that away from me.
I
Other
didn't
than
even
that,
watch the finale.
the finale, it does. You say there isn't. It doesn't use character development. It actually does use character development from episode 9 in the finale, but mm, even then, it's arguable how it's presented.
Gilly, thoughts?
I don't think there's anything else to say other than what I have said.
That is fair. Majino Tabi Tabi, you get a dishonorable mention. But to
I
something else. Oh, sorry.
I will go on record saying this. If you enjoy the show, that's fine. If you aspire to be like Galena, probably not. Check your fucking ego. But if you like the show and you enjoyed it, there's nothing terrible with the show. You're not a. I'm not trying to say that you're wrong for liking Majo no Tabi Tabi. But what I am saying is, if the anime community, if the anime industry is going to continue getting better and writing better characters and telling better stories and changing genres or the way we define genres, this is not it.
Yeah, they should watch Jujutsu Kaisen.
Ah, sure.
that or first half Akudama Drive, Adachi Toshimamura, Yukoku no Moriarty. My Hero starts listing off all the anime.
Magetsu, Warheit, Zerst.
Now this one, I don't think me and Gilly are gonna have much to say. This is gonna be mostly for you now.
Sure, I can take it away. There's if you guys have questions, chat. I will take this moment to answer any questions you have about the show, about what I'm about to say. Magetsu Warhead Zerst, an incredibly weak, almost bad opening episode, like really weak start. Kind of opens up to a generally intriguing plotline. The show's fault. Okay.
You said you'd answer questions. My question is, why are you wrong? I'm sorry.
Listen here, you little shit.
Also, by the way, with me saying I think it's mostly up to you, Gilly, if you do want to interject anywhere, please don't think I'm speaking for you here. I'm just saying we only stuck to episode 3, so.
Yeah, no worries. But yeah, it opens up into a very intriguing plot line. I said this before in earlier episodes of our FMK. This show's mistake, not just flaw. It's flaw, it's its fault, but it's also its mistake, is trying to juggle way too many things at once from the get-go. When you're juggling, you do one ball, then you do two balls. You play around with the first ball, kind of get everyone comfortable. You throw in a second ball really quickly and just have everyone's attention, and then three, and then show people you can juggle those three balls. And then you add the fourth, the fifth, and the sixth, and really start wowing people. You don't start with four, and then add a fifth one right away. It's a lot.
Before you know it, your ball's deep.
Yeah, all of a sudden you've got way too many balls and your ball's deep. What are you gonna do? What can I say? I love someone who really knows how to handle their balls, chat. Anyway, that being said, I did not finish Magetsu Warhide Zerst. It was on the docket. It was killed. It was set on the side. And I watched a few episodes. I think I got up to episode 8 or 9. And honestly, when I find myself with 2-3 hours of free time, I will settle in, crack a can of a tasty beer, and or maybe a cup of tea, and just binge watch the rest of the season. I can't tell you how it ends.
That's how you watch it. You just get absolutely smashed.
No.
Got it.
It's a good show. The opening is bad. I'm sorry, people who were working on it. Your opening is bad. You guys changed it, sure. You guys made it better. You added actual graphics and not like whatever the fuck in the opening.
Oh, they did?
Studios.
Yeah.
Wait, Delora, did they actually add an actual opening?
They added like the crystal thing that they're holding in like episode 3 that they're smuggling. They added that as it was like spinning with like background images here and there, but it's still not that good.
We didn't even get that far when we killed it.
Yeah, no, it's
That's
fine.
funny. That's
I
funny to me.
I do not blame anyone for falling off of the show. The first episode is bad, the second episode is not better, and the third episode is confusing. And by the time you get to the forest with the sister, I understand why people are like, what the fuck is going on? That being said, I like the plot. It's interesting, and by episode the last one I watched, which I think was like episode 8, the two lines converge. It's not a must watch, but Magetsu Warhide Zurst. There's a mobile game apparently. I might be curious to check it out. I will first finish the anime season and see how I feel about how they handle the plot. While most shows have a really good start and hopefully really good ending and have a mid-season slump, Magetsu Warhide Zurst has a awful start, but a really strong peak in the middle. And, maybe one day you will hear about my thoughts on how it ends. Or not. That's it.
See, Dalaran, it's supposed to start big at the shaft and then get smaller until you get to the tip. Also, let me know if you pull Dark Emmanuel. That's really cool guy. Emmanuel Black. Then there's a future castle.
I don't regret Magetsu Warhide Zurst getting killed on the show. I don't disagree with it. Honestly, it suffers from Majo no Tabi Tabi thing where it actually has some really good concepts. I just wish it was explored more. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Full Metal Alchemist, this is not. But Full Metal Alchemist, this could have kinda been like if it was just given more time to breathe and establish it. And that's it. That's Zurst.
Don't you ignore me.
Oh, I didn't hear you. What'd you say?
I said, but not someone, not this show.
Ooh, you're roboting, my dude.
All I know is Zurst gave me a headache, and that was enough for me to go,
I like this tag.
But make those sounds exactly. Those are the sounds I make.
That's fair. It's the the best way I could put it is that I enjoyed the show, but I don't have an overwhelming desire to keep watching it. Also, I will say this: the animation is the settings are surprisingly really good. Like they go to the side of the town that is abandoned and it's covered in like moss and ivy on the waterfront, and it's really fucking pretty. And the tunnels and lighting are both really good, but like a character animation is extremely fluid and like clay esque, and the way the weapons look are just bad. This guy was holding a gun and it literally looked like it was made of Legos. It was just blocks, just wonder blocks. It was bad.
Lego gun. Lego my ego.
Meep, have you rejoined us? Oh, Meep's dead.
Meep has left this mortal plane.
Uh oh. Let's see. Let's see if chat has any questions about Zurst. Nope, everyone's just posting dick deep Dalaran. Well, hey, if I do what I can. I do not like the Lego guns, chat. Sorry, what were you saying, Gilly?
You gonna marry this show, Dalaran?
No, no. Zurst is nice. Zurst is fun. I want to stay friends with Zurst and hang out once in a while. Maybe hop into bed if we're both feeling it without any consistent partners at the moment. But nah, Zurst isn't for me.
Go and get some custard.
Ah, now I want custard. Unironically, I want custard.
I've been talking about it a lot, so I've been making a lot of people want custard.
Google custard shops near me.
Oh, there goes Meep.
Yeah, yeah, he'll reconnect. Also, yeah, no, I don't like the Lego guns. Chat. Hey, hey, hey! I never said I hate Legos. I think they're ridiculously overpriced.
So when you say Lego gun, do you mean like blocky or like Lego Star Wars where it's just the microphone backwards?
I mean it's blocky. I guess
Or I mean
Minecraft
like
gun.
megaphone?
I guess Minecraft gun would be a better analogy. Meep, are you back?
Hello?
Hey.
I think so. Okay, what I said earlier was, but Dalaran, another show Nina Tucker's someone on this list, not Zurst.
Sad.
Uh depressing.
Do you have anything else you want to say about Zurst, or shall we move on to King's Raid?
Now, on the opposite front, Gilly, this one's mostly going to be for you.
Fuck.
Still watching King's Raid.
Fuck off.
Do we want to
King-
cover dead episodes here?
Actually, wait, never mind. Don't. That's rude. Nah, fuck off. Fuck off is for Fruitard.
I mean, I've been watching that too, and I'm the one that has to talk about that right after this too. Um, yeah, so King's Raid has made it to its episode 14. It's a little bit over its halfway point. Uh, it apparently it's as far as I can tell, it seems like it's entering into a decent sized arc. They changed up the opening and closing. I really like the new opening and closing. Uh, and it's really flip flopping back and forth a lot more consistently between the main group and the Dark Elves, which makes sense seeing as the opening has Castle and his group, and the closing has our main Dark Elf and his group.
The closing was the best part.
Which there is some kind of oh yeah, episode 14. Our Dark Elves are continuing along their quest to fight demons. They find out that the necromancer who was revived a couple episodes back, they now know he's back. They head out to try and confront some demons. The young boy who had a super emotional episode where he fell in love with a woman, with the young dark elf boy who fell in love with a human girl and decided he couldn't be with her. Yeah, he died.
What? What?
They fucking killed him.
I was gonna make the joke.
The Dark
Hey,
Elves or
demons.
the-
It's your
Dark elf.
boy.
It's
I
the
was
dark elf
gonna make the
boy.
joke. Hey, demons. It's me, ya boy. But how? How did they kill
Yeah,
him?
no, but
Very
killed-
unceremoniously.
who killed him? A demon or a dark elf? Because
Technically is the necromancer, but they were in this barren, cracked field waiting to see the demons, and he took a few steps forward and just got hit with something out of the ground and fell to the ground dead.
Wait, is the necromancer evil Twilight Sparkle?
No.
Okay.
I actually had the picture of the necromancer in one of my old screenshots with his evil glare from his hair getting cut. Very just purple black robes, long black hair, one of those dumb crowns that doesn't go all the way around. It stops like right on the edges of the forehead.
I wanna see Dark Elf, little boy. He's dead.
Yeah, I should have got a screen. Yeah, he's just dead now. It was very
Dead.
surprising. Um, Also, they're showing a budding relationship between the leader of the Dark Elves and basically the princess.
Yeah, I
They're
was
they're
waiting for you
doing
to say.
they're they're going for a lot of interesting dynamics with it, and I've overall, in terms of a retrospective for this show, even though it's still going, uh, didn't like it right in the very beginning. Got interested, lost me, but I kept going, and honestly, I'm not having a bad time with this. I'm having a good time watching it.
Hmm.
It's very up and down, but for the most part, it's staying consistent enough in what I'm enjoying to keep going with it.
I want to apologize for chat. I want to apologize to chat for hurting their feelings with with my meme reference. But also, man, remembering what you have said, again, I'm not mad that you like this show. I don't understand it. I really don't. I don't understand why you like this show, but I'm not mad about it. That being said, the things you started talking about the show and like telling us about the show, there was one moment I was like, "Oh, that actually sounds interesting." When they were going into the backstories and like the Dark Elves, because the Dark Elves was the only good thing or interesting thing in the show for me. Nope, someone's beating the shit out of their mic. And
It's jerking off a light switch.
oh shit. But no, yeah. I have to say, everything you've kind of like said in the Gilly's Graveyard Tour just doesn't captivate me. It just doesn't sound what it doesn't sound like what I would be interested in, which is okay. It's I have my preferences, you have yours. I just can't forgive them for killing Nichan or Necha.
Already put the insinuation that he's gonna grow back into a tree and he's gonna
Nope,
come back.
nope. They made us love him, and I knew what they were gonna do it, and they fucking killed the only thing I liked about the show. Fuck this show.
Chibi wasn't even good. You have to face the fact, Dalaran, you were just trying to find something to latch on to.
You be quiet, Meep. Chibi was great and he was adorable and he'll be back.
Chibi deserved what he got.
Fuck you, Meep. Chibi was actually adorable. Whoever was the
Chibi
voice
was
performer for them,
Chibi
kudos,
was
props.
brave. He was so brave.
All of them have
He
their
died
swords, their
for
magic
his own
staves, and
people.
Chibi's there with a fucking knife.
Wanna what show? I want a knife.
I don't know.
Ochikabore fruit tart. Unless anyone has any final things to say about King's Raid.
Probably should have asked that before going on to Fruit Tart.
Well, do you, Dalaran? I thought it sounded like you were finished saying what you were saying.
No, I've been done with King's Raid. No offense, Gilly. No offense to our King Raiders in the chat.
Rise up. Take back the motherland.
But Gilly, are you not married? Oh wait, no, you're fuck. Never mind.
Gilly is married to Moriarty. Thank you very much.
Well,
Trying
Dalaran,
to
are you
say
gonna
me.
marry King's Raid?
I'm not dignifying that.
That's an interesting question to ask him. Me, what
Let's go.
about
Let's go.
you? What's your retrospective?
It should have died episode. It should have died episode 3, but you wait. Did it die episode 3 or did it die episode 2?
Are we talking about Fruit Tart or are we talking about King's Raid?
King's Raid. I don't know. Either way, King's Raid should have died earlier. Whether
I
or
think
not we
King's
had
Raid died
rules,
episode 3 or episode 4.
whether or not we had rules of if it couldn't have died before, then it still should have died earlier. That's my retrospective.
Hey chat, when did King's Raid die?
I've lost all sense of time. I've lost track of all sense of time. And because I've
Oh,
kept watching it, it's not dead in my heart, so I can't remember.
holidays tend to do that. We can figure out We figure out when it can hide.
King's Raid got the triple kill on episode 4.
Ah, right, because it lived on the wheel.
Yep.
Got on the wheel. It and Tabby were on the wheel. I forgot about that. And I used to yell. At the streams of TF, so I'm like, but how do you not remember when you killed this show? And now here I am, not remembering when we killed which show.
Oh, how the tables have turned.
What year is it again?
2022.
Kuma
Anyways,
Kuma Kuma Bear?
Right.
Fruit tart.
Yes. Ochikapore fruit tart. Just for you, chat. I watched. The finale wouldn't have been aired today, so I watched 2 episodes this morning when I woke up. It's the first thing I did. It's a great way to start off the morning.
Just a nice big cup of cringe. Okay, now you are wrong for liking this show.
Now I'm wrong for liking this show?
King's
Well
Raid?
then.
Hey, if you like it, okay, enjoy King's Raid. I don't. This?
I just
No.
started enjoying the cringe fest.
Listen, some people just want to inject direct. Just want to inject heroin directly into their brain. Daleron. Don't judge
This
him.
isn't heroin.
You're right. This is fentanyl.
Well then. Look, all you have to know is they were going to lose their TV spot because their ratings dropped to 0, and they went to beg to keep their spot, and they found out their show was being dropped. But the lolly president of Cat Studios offered them a deal. We find out that Hayu's mom is going to be their new sponsor.
Who's Hayu? Is that Kiwi?
No, Strawberry.
Oh!
Canada girl.
We like Hayu in
Her-
this house.
Her you would have been upset by the final episode what they did to her.
Oh no.
Did they kill her?
No, but they put her in a maid costume with a collar.
Here we go.
They made one joke about it, and then they didn't make another joke about it, but they didn't change her out of the costume.
Listen, I'm a fan of collars, right? I'm all for it. Wear it, please, if you're sure. It would be an honor to have you. That being said, not when they're 15, not when it's fucking fet bait, and not when it's not treated with respect. Come on.
But honestly, the last 2 episodes were kind of linked directly into each other, just them trying to keep themselves afloat. They had a little concert. Everyone got together. It was a big like, group thing. The final episode had so many costume changes. Oh, there was a Disney joke.
Are they allowed to do that?
They were
Mouse of
talking about
House.
giving the girls mouse ears, and Ho held up the mouse ears, and they were censored. They were pixelated.
Okay, that's funny.
That was
Oh,
actually
wow.
the funniest moment I've ever had in this show. Like I that one really got a good laugh out of me.
I want to remind our listeners and viewers that I wanted to like this show. I thought this show was funny until it became uncomfortably gross.
Oh, trust me, the problem is leading up to that, you had to deal with a lot of different costume changes, including one where where we see a scene with all the girls from Krimametsu knocked out unconscious with blood running from their noses as Roko is standing there with a pacifier in her mouth and the Broko costume with a little broccoli on the breast.
So who's Hanyu's
What?
mom?
Hmm?
Go ahead, me.
I'm just confused by the entire sequence of words I heard. I want to bleach that from my brain, Gilly.
Yeah. Me too.
Was there, I'm trying to do so right now. Was there, music?
There was. At the very end, it was very just standard, but I liked it. The very end was it was cute. It was heartwarming. It was nice. Like uh, there was a whole accident. Ho's alcoholism. She spilled her alcohol on top of the speakers for the concert and ruined them. And they didn't think they'd be able to have it. And Tona's Tona's mother and all the town got together and all their neighbors got together to help them like make sure everything's all fixed and working, and it was just really cute and nice.
That is cute. I really
Just
enjoy the wholesome moments in the show. It's too bad they're utterly eclipsed by the overtly sexualized parts.
and it had a whole ending saying that that uh, Mouse House is kind of not exactly in the best place. They're still trying, but they're struggling, and we'll just have to see where our adventures take us next time. Take us next time,
Wait,
which it was very heavily insinuating they're going to try and do a second part to this series.
fuck no. Get out of here. There isn't actually a second season to this fucking dumpster fire, is it?
It was very heavily insinuated, but there hasn't been any official announcement that I've seen. But the finale episode aired this morning. So
Ah. Their character designs are good. They had a lot of potential, but
it was I don't know. I honestly the last handful of episodes, while it had really bad moments, tried to get back to like more wholesome content.
nope. You don't get to be bad and do shit and then try to in the end.
It's like they wanted
Sorry,
to
got
do It's like they wanted to do like a few episodes good, really bad, and then a few episodes good on the very end.
nope. What I was trying to say before is that you don't get to just be a piece of shit and like just be awful and then at the very end apologize and be like, oh, but look at this nice thing I did. Nah, it doesn't work that way.
This show is like getting your urethra pierced.
All I know is if there's a second part, it's not something I'm gonna lock, but I'm gonna watch it, and you're gonna have to hear me talk about it.
Don't worry,
You
me.
wouldn't. It since it's died on the show. Okay, I think it's safe to say second seasons of things that have died on the show probably won't be eligible because we haven't seen the rest of the first season.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, if Ikebukuro gets a second season, I don't. Unless you two fuckers force me to watch the finale.
Uh, we'll get to
Tie me down
Kabukuro in a
and yank.
moment. But I have one last question for Gilly in terms of Fruit Tart. If we'll cross the bridge of dead second seasons if it ever gets built, looking at you, Fruit Tart. So what? The little blonde girl from Cat Productions is Hanyu's mother?
No, Hayu's mother just shows up for this brief thing, and then that's it. The little the evil opening that you see with Ho-Ho looking at the two people standing on the pedestal. There's the little girl, then there's also the producer from Cat Studios.
Yeah, the
The
Dragon
little
Ball Z
girl is
reference.
the president.
Yeah.
Of the United States of America.
She's a what is it? They actually said in this final episode that she was 19.
Unfortunately, on brand.
I don't care about the
Both
show.
both her and the producer apparently just, as they said, cosplaying is a legitimate hobby.
Well,
I don't
Daron, are
care
you
for
gonna
this
marry
show,
Fruit
and I
Tart?
don't care about this show.
Are you gonna be marrying Fruit Tart?
Who, me? Fuck no.
You want me to ring the wedding
Alright.
bells for you, Meep?
I think we can move on to.
Well, something fucking died.
Me inside after watching Adachi.
Damn it. Fuck. Me. Why'd you have to step away in the moment that we were about to be done with Fruit Tart? I'm just gonna take us over to talking about Ikebukuro Westgate Park. Gilly, did you watch the finale?
I did, yes.
What did you think?
I liked it. It was a nice. I thought it was a good conclusion to everything, just sort of wrapping up the series. Bringing it all to a close.
What did you think about the confrontation between the Red Angels and the G Boys?
There wasn't. I mean, I thought it was okay. There wasn't a whole lot there. It was interesting to see this third party get extremely involved in the finale episode, trying to supply both groups with guns to just wipe them both out, which was they didn't make it feel as dark as it actually was.
Because
Whatever.
we forget that while they are good boys, they're also gangsters, so that isn't unheard of. But yeah, I thought that
They
was a really good approach.
it was. It's just I felt like the way they talked in the episode almost felt like it wasn't played up enough for the fact that they were literally about to have two gangs both go down in a hail of bullets. Didn't feel like
Okay.
that the severity of that was actually expressed as much as it should have been.
Girl, are you two talking about the finale of Ikebukuro?
Yeah.
Yes.
So how does it end?
So the G Boys and the Red Angels have are lining up to have one last final bout because both sides have guns and think the other side doesn't. King comes back, wakes up again, goes out. Him and Red Angel Leader Boy have a fight that is so much better in the opening than it is in the actual anime itself. Makoto tricks fucking skinny twink evil boy into killing him with a fake blood loaded bullet gun. Fake blood bullet flake. Wow, holy shit! Why am I having so much fake blood bullet loaded gun? Why did I have so much difficulty with that? Anyway, he of course records it and then plays it out for everyone to see, and they show the G Boys and the Red Angels like, look at him, it was him the whole time. And he's like, I went to school in Ikebukuro and people bullied me and made my life hell, so I joined the Yakuza and now I organized the invasion of Ikebukuro. Let me tell you my evil plan. Bang, 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 bang.
He gets shot?
Yeah, Makoto dies.
Oh.
But then he's not actually dead.
He's not actually dead because he switched out the
Because
gun
they're
somehow.
he didn't switch out the gun. He loaded it. He got a stage magician to give him like blood rounds that are just like little glass capsules that pop with fake blood when they hit.
Oh, but yeah, no, but you're talking about the skinny twink kid, right?
No,
The
he doesn't die.
He gets arrested.
Yeah, and Koichi, I
okay.
think is his name, Red Angel's leader. He kicks him in the. It was great. He He fucking swan dive kicks him in the face like a fucking because of the ballerina that he is because he does ballet, and then he just stomps his ribs in with one stomp, and then Makoto's like, no, don't kill him. If you kill him, you will go to jail and you'll be just as bad as he is. And I'm like, ugh.
What is it? He said, "I'm going to dance on your bones until they turn to dust."
Oh, right. And then
And
Makoto's
then
like,
Makoto's just
don't.
like, "That's not what dancing's for."
That's not what your dancing is for, Koichi.
God, some of the lines are so dumb and over the top.
But some of the lines were actually pretty good. There were some wholesome moments there.
um, and then of course, during this whole issue between the two gangs, there were a lot of civilian casualties of people just wearing red or blue, including one little girl's. I don't know if it was like a sibling or a parent. I kind of missed
Nope,
it.
that was her brother.
Yeah,
Also,
and
you make a mistake. They were part of the Red Angels because apparently the Red Angels let children in. In the last episode, episode 11, you saw them standing in the group of the Red Angels ready to beat up. Like, they're like, when everyone was ramping up to go fight, the little girl, like, or the little boy was like shouting, yeah, beat up the G Boys, because he was a Red Angel. And I mean, like, what the fuck?
they also said that people just wearing the colors were getting beat up.
This is true.
Listen, Dalaran, child soldiers, they feel no empathy.
Ugh.
But no, like the little girl, the two groups end up like reconciling because like, oh, it wasn't either of our fault. But the little girl, she's upset. She runs at King with a knife. And he just opens his arms to hug her and gets shanked.
He opens his arms to let her shank him and then hugs her while doing so. It's actually a powerful scene.
And he still
So,
doesn't die.
did her brother die?
It is implied that the brother went into critical, but she thought she was gonna die, and Takashi thought he was going to die. So he's like, Makoto, if I don't make it, you lead the G Boys. No more of this. It's too much trouble bullshit. You're the one who's going to lead the G Boys, and I'm like, that was a good scene. That was a good scene.
I gotta feel bad for Knight, who I'm pretty sure was there too. He's like, fuck.
No, Knight didn't wanted nothing to do with the G Boys. Knight came back. Knight comes back and knocks
He did come back.
and then beats the shit out of his assailants. And Makoto's being chased down. Knight comes in, wrecks their shit, and then tracks down the Yakuza. And Knight and his second in command say that they're leaving Ikebukuro and they're gonna stake out some new turf in some other prefecture or area city.
Which makes sense. But yeah, the whole ending, King Takashi gets, he recovers. Apparently as they said in there, the stab wasn't actually didn't actually hit anything vital, so it wasn't as bad as they thought it was.
Yeah, he has this whole
Um,
dramatic scenes. I'm like, oh fuck, is King actually gonna die? And then the next scene is just, yeah, the knife. He's just like, oh, sorry for worrying you. The stab wasn't as bad as I thought it was. And I'm like, you motherfucker.
the leader of the Red Angels just fucking left to live by himself, saying
Apparently,
as he did that he might be back through Ikebukuro sometimes, and uh asked if they could look after his Red Angels for him.
Did
also,
did they
question,
ever
Gilly.
find Mitsuki?
Who?
Yes.
Mitsuki, the guy that shot King.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
was
he was
like in
tied
a.
up in a closet.
No, he was in a fucking garbage room, like a garbage chute.
He had duct tape over his mouth and his hands and legs bound, just locked away
Yeah,
somewhere.
they were gonna blame him for Makoto's murder, but Makoto wasn't dead. Ooh. Um,
But it,
Gilly. So, question: wasn't the Red Angels leader? He was an orphan in Chicago, right? That was the story.
I I'm not actually sure. I know he lived in Chicago for a while.
He
his
said he had no
parents
one.
died.
He said he had no one. His parents died. Okay, that's what it was. Because I thought he was an
Isn't the
orphan.
house that wasn't the house that he said he inherited like a grandparent's house?
No, he said
Or
my
was it a
parents
parent's?
left me a house here in Japan.
I know it was inherited. That's all I remember.
That's what I was leading up to. That I thought he was an orphan, and where the fuck did the house from his so-called parents come from? But right, they died in a car accident. Okay, makes sense.
If you two had to fuck or kill this episode, what would you choose?
I mean,
Hmm.
fuck it. I enjoyed it. It tied everything up and let it go and just I don't know why. I found the comments of Makoto in the final narration talking about Ikebukuro is a great place. I just thought that was really sweet.
I would once again knife this episode. I would kill this episode, but I still really like the show. Fruit ramen aside, which is still unforgivable, the show is really good and adopts this very nice hybrid episodic formula. Unfortunately, the gang violence, which we always knew was coming and was heavily hinted in the opening, and was something that I personally was really looking forward to seeing and experiencing, was kind of shit. Like, I like the setup, I like the concept, I like the characters, but the execution was kind of shit. Like, I was really underwhelmed. I don't know if I was disappointed. I was disappointed in the action. I was disappointed in the confrontation between Takashi and between King and Red Angels. But I, man, like the actual ending itself was underwhelming. That being said, I think the finale is worth watching for you, Meep, and anyone who has watched the season, anyone who's watched this anime episode 1 through 10. I would recommend seeing the finale just for the ending credits scene where you see every single character from the whole season from the show come back. We find out that grandfather taxi driver still interacts and gets to see his grandson and his mom, and they kind of spend time together driving around and listening to jazz. We find out that the fucking VTuber were the ones who set up the microphone and the rig to catch evil Twink Boy in the act. There was someone else that was really wholesome. What am I trying? Gilly, who am I forgetting?
The child from episode 1?
The child is there, and oh yeah, they never really make a mention of her. She's just there watching Makoto get exonerated with like a lot of happiness on her face, and I'm like, okay, cute.
I mean, there's the there's the man whose son was killed and found out his grandson wasn't his own.
Yeah, the
And they just
taxi
showed
driver.
them and they're like actually a happy family all just smiling as they're driving down the road. So we know how that went. It didn't go bad. He stayed with them and that's still his grandson. He's happy with them.
Yeah, that was really cute. But there was another callback. I
They called
remember. I
back
just
to
don't
every
remember.
single episode.
Huh?
They called back to all of the previous things.
I know, but there was one specifically that I was like, oh yeah, yeah. I was like really happy to see it, but I can't remember what it was.
I saw the fucking YouTuber
No, fuck the YouTuber.
fucking running from a cop in his like protective gear.
Yeah, that was funny. We did see the fucking VTuber running away from a cop as they were being chased down, and he was wearing his like fall downstairs attire.
Hmm. Ow.
Well,
But
Meep is being
Dalaran.
attacked by dogs.
No, that was my cat. But Dalaran, is this going to be your wife?
I love that you were just like super excited to find out who I'm gonna marry, Meep.
I can stop asking if you want.
I'm just flattered with the concern. However, this Ikebukuro Westgate Park, while I do really enjoy the series and I recommend it to people to watch who just are curious about an anime, a more realistic depiction of life in Japan in anime, I would recommend watching Ikebukuro Westgate Park. That being said, the gang aspect of it never really comes up like to the point where I wanted it to be. So that's a huge letdown. But otherwise, yeah, the different characters. Mom makes a recovery. It was nice. It was. Oh, I remember what it was. The brother and the sister, and the kid that jumped them for money and broke the brother's leg in a way that he can never work in the kitchen. They're now hanging out, and the brother is training him how to be a cook so they can still open a restaurant together. And I thought that was really wholesome from an episode that really deals with like healing and forgiving and moving past traumatic experiences, forgiving others and yourself. Seeing that moment plus the grandpa and the kid on the taxi drive and the mom, those two scenes made watching the finale worth it to me. So there's a really nice ending where Makoto, like Gilly said, laments about how nice Ikebukuro has become and how great of a place it is after everything succeeds. It's just the gang war is lame.
Well,
Also, the ending theme
something.
really fits the way they used the opening theme in the beginning of the episode with the fighting was nice, and the way they used the ending theme, how it's like this really chill hip hop with like a little bit of like cool, like low key energy while talking about everyone's lives. That was cool.
Well, you know what isn't lame?
Is it? Jujutsu
Jujutsu Kaisen, episode 13. Itadori and Nanami do battle with Mahito until he breaks out domain expansion. We get a flashback with Nanami. Then Itadori breaks into the domain, forcing him to touch Sukuna's soul. After taking a nasty blow from Sukuna, Mahito semi-perfect sells himself and escapes. Itadori gains a new resolve on what a proper death really is, and Junpei's bully and teacher are going to get suitable punishments. The sheer balls on this show to keep Junpei dead. Holy fuck.
Okay, so we're addressing the elephant in the room. Is Junpei dead?
Yes, he is. That's.
Are you sure?
I am almost 100% positive because he brought Itadori to the fucking morgue.
What?
And yeah, did you not realize that's what all the tarps were? Those were the dead bodies.
Sure, but we don't know if Junpei's is in it.
It's heavily implied Junpei is still dead because they even cover it up that Junpei moved to a new country, and
Yeah, but
Itadori is all lamenting about how he couldn't save people.
yeah, but he had to kill three humans who were transmuted, transfigured by Mahito, and also
Three
they
babies.
they also showed Junpei's body again in a very ominous, foreshadowing way as he was laying there, tears still flowing from his eyes.
If Junpei survived, that would have been something they brought up this episode. This show has been very good on the way it's handled subject matter. It wouldn't just offhandedly bring that up when it comes back. Oh yeah, no, Junpei's alive.
No, I fully expect this show to pull a fast one on us, knowing that it's going into a mid-season break and then coming back with Junpei being alive. The thing about
No,
him the thing about
that.
Junpei is that if he was like I don't know where I sit on this. I don't know which I would prefer. But the thing with Junpei and saying that he moved to a different country, yes, that could cover up his death, but that could also cover up him joining Jujutsu Tech or whatever, Tokyo Tech, whatever the fuck the school's called.
Think of it this way: the only people that could bring him back are Mahito and Sukuna. We know Sukuna's not going to do it. Mahito escaped, and if they brought back Junpei, that would invalidate all of the development Itadori just got. It would invalidate all of it.
Gilly, what do you
I
think? Is Junpei dead?
It's still very ambiguous.
The show's got us in its clutches.
If they wanted to tell us he's dead, they'd say it. They don't want to tell us for a reason. They don't want to give a straightforward answer for a reason. What that reason is, who knows?
Yeah, it's weird to start talking about this off the bat, but I know it's the question on everyone's mind who's seen the episode. Is Junpei dead? So we'll talk about the rest of the episode and our, thoughts and everything on that in a bit. But is Junpei dead? I honestly don't know. And I don't know what I prefer. Part of me really like me myself, like I want Junpei to not be dead because I like Junpei and his like the pain that he was expressing is so real and vivid and just like um, visceral and visceral and it's relatable to anyone who's been bullied and it's just great and he turned into this amazing character only for all of this to happen to him. So do I want Junpei to live and be friends with everyone and hang out? Of course. However, objectively looking at this as a show, as a medium, as a story, it would be amazing for Junpei to not for Junpei to be dead. If like Meep said, if the show kills Junpei, that is such a fucking twist, especially in the genre. With the opening showing them as friends and Junpei coming up and the shonen protagonist being like, "No, you don't let darkness win your heart," and the kid fucking dies anyway. Man, that would have such a fucking impact. So in a strange way, I almost don't want Junpei to have survived. I'm half and half. Second season, right?
I don't either, because at least in my mind, it would invalidate the entire new resolve Itadori found. That okay, I don't know what a proper death really is, but that man, I'm going to fucking kill him. It's that new resolve he found is purely he would not have had that development if it wasn't for Junpei's death. And if Junpei is still alive, that invalidates that character growth to me. Like
Whatever. The character growth happened, so it's not about what caused it after the fact. The character growth happened. Let them, as long as. See, the thing is though, I trust this show to handle Junpei's survival with, handle it well, and I also believe in this show that it is capable of pulling a fast one on all of us, and actually killing off Junpei. The whole invalidation argument, like I get where you're coming from, I really do, but if I think it's slightly pretentious to be like, well, it invalidates his character growth, so I don't like it. Like, enjoy the fucking program. Enjoy the story. Did they handle it poorly? Okay, then it's shit. Did they handle it well? Well, then enjoy the story.
the thing is, we're looking at it in an objective way, so I kind of have to look at it objectively, and to me, it would invalidate that growth because it's a cop out. It's oh yeah, we want this growth to happen, but we don't want any consequence to come from it. So use the Dragon Balls. He's alive again. That's
I
that's what I don't like in shonen is they don't stick to anything. There's no consequence. The characters are always going to survive. You always know they're going to live. They're always going to use the Dragon Balls to resurrect Yamcha again. You know that's going to happen. And if this show sets a precedent by killing off Junpei, you'll know no one is safe. And that's what I like because that creates tension. Like it creates tension. It creates a mystique to it. Like I won't have that feeling of oh well Gojo's safe because mentor, but like that's something I'll always give Naruto. Naruto was not afraid to kill characters.
but
It was not afraid to kill people's precious husbandos, kill people's precious ships. It wasn't afraid to do that, and that's something I'll always give it. Like Jiraiya's death is one of the most powerful in anime.
yeah, but for how
Just like
long
Junpei's
running
death.
that for how long running Naruto is, it did not nearly have enough deaths for me to agree with the point you're making.
It still killed more characters than other shonen. And Dragon Ball doesn't count because they always revive those characters. Like there's no tension in almost all of shonen because you always know they have plot armor. They're never gonna die. Like, that's what I like about My Hero. There are consequence to things that happen. Unlike in Dragon Ball, there's never any consequence to what happens. And that's what I want for the show. I want there to be consequence for the things that happen. I want there to be consequence for character growth because things don't just happen without nothing happening. Like, you don't just change from a soft boy that wants to save everyone to a soft boy but also edge boy that wants to kill without something changing. There has to be a fundamental cause and effect. There can't just be cause. Like, from a story writer standpoint, copping out like that effectively cheapens what you were trying to get across.
Yeah, but just because you're sticking to this like narrative device, and I agree with everything you said. What I'm trying to propose is that do you not believe that the show would be able to pull that off well as well?
I believe it's tough to say because I can't see any way to effectively bring Junpei back without having that character growth.
I don't know. I think the show makes it runs its story really well, and it knows how to pace things out where things feel like they have gravity, whether or not they are spoken about or not.
Still be without having that character because Junpei's death.
Hello? Meep. Well, it looks like Mahito got Meep too. God damn it.
Also, it didn't just serve for Itadori.
Well, he's coming in and out of space.
Hello.
Hey, and he's back.
Okay. What I was saying was that the death also served to show off how villainous and fucking vitriolic Mahito could be, as well to show Sukuna is still a curse at the end of the day. Sukuna isn't working with the hero; he's working for himself. Like, he's not there during fights going, "Oh, Itadori, use this curse technique." He's observing because he has something he wants to see from Fushiguro, I guess.
Yeah, and the fact that he has a raging hard on for fucking Fushiguro just brings the whole Naruto aspect full circle. Like, Sukuna has a raging hard on for Fushiguro. Like, God, fuck, it's Sasuke all over again.
Also, another reason I don't believe Junpei's dead is because that fucking Nanami speech to Itadori wouldn't make much sense to me.
That was a good thing. Yeah. So let's talk
it
about the
feels
fight.
Fight was good.
And how the fucking episode opens up with a 5-minute interlude of just them stomping Mahito's shit before the opening plays.
Mm-hmm. It took a while for the opening to get going.
Yeah, 5 minutes, I looked. Like,
this was a fun episode.
It was fantastic. This episode was just so good. And you could see that the budget really went into the finale. Like, it felt like a finale. Like, a lot of attention to the fucking combat went in. Sure, things like people looked odd off model in the distance, and whenever someone was shown from like afar, they were kind of ugly. Like, they were just drawn very squiggly, but or like lumpy. But the fight itself, there was like so much emotion and energy. Like each hit felt like you felt it when Mahito was getting stomped by Itadori and Nanami. You could really feel each hit just like cracking into him, and he was losing his mind in pain, and for the first time experiencing death. That was fucking wild. And in the very first minute, they wrap up everything that was happening at the end of the last episode. Like, those 5 minutes of the beginning of this episode kind of like touch upon and finish the fight before Mahito enters stage 2 or stage 3. And that was really freaking cool. I really liked how they did that. It immediately picks up from where the last episode picks up. Literally, like immediately picks up with it. There's a little bit of like rehash where they repeat 6 lines and then just goes right back into it. Then opening and then the continuation with Mahito entering like stage 2, stage 3.
Yeah. Itadori has to kill curse babies that were human babies.
And he was none too happy about that.
I didn't enjoy this episode as much as I did 12. I will be straightforward there. 12 was amazing. Character growth wise, its visuals, everything about episode 12 was amazing. And this episode was amazing too. Though it did suffer a little bit from shonen flashback, but nothing nearly as egregious as Naruto did. But
no, it's brief at best.
Yeah, it's really fun. Like Mahito semi-perfect sells himself.
It's not the swing of depressing memories.
Yeah.
I like the swing, damn it.
Then Mahito eventually, as he's getting his shit stomped in, he gets a new inspiration and pulls out Domain Expansion, which very cool visually. It's fucking awesome. Just seeing all the hands come out. It grabs Nanami and pushes Itadori out.
What a fucking Domain expansion. God's damn. Just look at that animation, those effects, the like mirroring and like sequence effect that they did, and like all the hands kind of funneling out and creating this realm of arms that like Nanami is forced to stand in literally in the palm of his hand, knowing that it's over. Even Nanami is like, shit, I've lost. I'm going to die. And they fucking made me believe it too, because of that stupid fucking wholesome sandwich scene.
Yes, which is, oddly enough, them saving Nanami is kind of why, another reason I think Junpei's gonna be dead. This show loves doing bait and switches.
Yep. Raise your hand if you thought both Nanami and the absolutely adorable bakery girl, I love her so much, best character, was going to die.
I didn't think Nanami was going to die. I did think the bakery girl was going to die, and that's what was going to bring him back.
I love her. She is such a precious being.
Plot twist: Nanami and her fucked, and then Itadori's Nanami's son.
Oh my god, I loved it. And I remember when he started talking about it's like I remember when Nanami started talking about his backstory, and I'm like, damn it, well, fuck, he's gonna die now. There like that's a clear death flag. And then immediately after in my notes, I'm like, fuck, now the cute shop girl cleric is going to die. Fuck, why? No, I like them both. Keep them. Keep the bees.
I can't. It's so funny. I cannot picture Nanami having sex. Would he keep the glasses on during?
Yes.
His curse power rises exponentially because it's overtime.
Oh my god. I like how he wears the glasses too, because he has the dark circles under his eyes. I like that. It's fun.
He's a tired man who's tired of life. I don't remember what joke we made earlier in the stream, but something about I remember thinking about Nanami. I think you said something, Meep, and I said, speaking of XXX.
Mm.
Well, moving on off of that point, yeah, Nanami's backstory was interesting, and I kind of liked it because what the show does is, again, character perspective. Nanami fully expected to die. And the best thing about it was that, like, First of all, he uses video game logic all the time, which is great because this guy who's like super stoic and serious is just ranting about like video game logic and how he's about to use his ultimate technique, and you got to guarantee a sure critical if you're going to use your ultimate technique, and once your enemy is able to do that, you've pretty much lost a fight. And I'm like, who is this man?
I I love it because it insinuates quite heavily that his off time is spent playing video games. I love it. Like
Yeah.
this is my hobby when I'm not working. I'm a gamer.
See, guys, I'm gonna do what's called a pro gamer move. He just starts playing fighters.
He does a 7-3 ratio. That's a pro gamer move.
Nanami spends money to make a Jujutsu Kaisen video game. It's just
I'm gonna do what's called a pro gamer move. You ever heard of QP QPUs?
Wait, I actually don't know what QPUs are.
Oh, oh, you haven't seen that awful fucking video
No, and I don't want to.
well,
about just Super Mario and alternate realities.
well, guys.
Oh,
I
I'm not
don't.
done.
I
I'm
have.
not done with the show.
Yeah, I want to finish my thoughts off if that's okay.
Do it.
This the domain expansion was great. The scene after of Itadori in Glum in the Dumps and his new resolve was amazing. Sukuna commanding such a presence. Even Mahito says even though his total curse energy is less than Jogo's right now, he commands such a presence on like it's unreal. Like the
Well,
whole
if you're gonna talk about that, do we want to like mention how Itadori literally brute forces his way into his fucking domain and shatters his killing blow to Nanami? Because
yeah,
it was
because
amazing,
he breaks
visually
in because
amazing.
the stronger a domain's inside, the weaker its outer shell. And it's interesting because Nanami reveals, yeah, Gojo's domain has a strong inner shell too, so it's probably easy to break in from the outside of his. It's like, oh, a weakness.
I think that's why
Then,
Gojo took time before activating his domain because he wanted to make sure that he wasn't going to get ganked from behind.
mm,
Because I was talking about like
then,
Gojo, stop playing with your fucking food and kill Takoyaki head, Volcano head, but that would actually put it into a much more perspective, into a much better perspective.
yeah, and then well, Gojo didn't need to activate his domain to kill Takoyaki head, but anyways,
He just did it to flex on him.
yeah, but so Mahito's domain, its whole thing is because his curse power has to do with touching people's souls. His domain guarantees to touch your soul. Itadori breaks in, jumps in, and remember what Sukuna said last time? You only get once because we laughed at the brat together. And then we see Sukuna. I told you there wouldn't be a second time, and he flexes his finger, and Mahito just gets fucking gutted.
Yeah, his whole like right shoulder explodes in blood.
hmm It was a bit awkward CG for that scene, but
You beat me to it. I was literally about to say the same thing. Yep, it's CG big question mark.
I don't know why they use CG for that.
I mean, it was good CG. It just the show so rarely switches over to CG that it just caught me off guard.
Yeah. Then there was the whole Cell blowing himself up reference that they did with Mahito.
Which is amazing. When Mahito starts losing the fight really bad, he literally turns into a giant balloon ready to explode. Except that too was a fake out.
hmm
Also, speaking of the CG, um, is that indicative that we're gonna get a really good-looking Jujutsu Kaisen fighting game or RPG game? Because again, CG as far as anime CG goes, pretty well done. Pretty well done.
As long as it's not a 3D arena fighter.
They did a lot of rotating camera angles, so Yeah.
The thing is that things like My Heroes One Justice are like a dime a dozen when it comes to anime fighting games.
Eh. Well,
But
maybe Arxis will
aside,
take Jujutsu Kaisen and make it into an incredible fighting game too.
maybe, but aside from everything I've said, I don't have much else to say other than Jujutsu Kaisen. Will you marry me?
Da, 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 da.
Surprising no one. I wrestled with myself on whether I was going to marry this or Adachi for a few days. But ultimately, I went with my heart. I would have been lying to myself and everyone else if I married Adachi. So ultimately, I had to marry Jujutsu Kaisen. It's such a stepping stone for shonen in an industry where shonen are extremely hit or miss, and it's even the really good shonen are even more rare. This steps it up to the level to be as good as something like My Hero Academia or Hunter x Hunter. As much as I don't like Hunter x Hunter, I will recognize people acknowledge it as a really good shonen. So I'd say it's up there on that level too. It's it truly does elevate itself to be so good. Like it does things that other shonen wouldn't even think of doing. It would Other shonen would never think of killing a character like Junpei or like it's just it's so good. It's so good.
You can't see me, but I'm smiling and nodding eagerly. Good job. Good job, Meep. What a waifu you have now. It's, yeah. Congratulations, my dude. The church bells are ringing.
Fuck was that?
Fuck was what?
I heard a sound.
Well.
It
Gets
sounded
rejected
like a
by.
bell, and I'm
Oh,
concerned.
no! Sorry. What were you saying, Meep? Gilly?
I heard a bell, and now I'm concerned.
Yeah, the church bells are ringing. Oh my god.
Is
Death to
that like an
reality.
audio thing, or am I just going insane?
No, that was, I think, my mic picking up the church bells I was playing.
Okay.
Or you're having a stroke. Or both.
Just gotta make sure. I just gotta make sure the bells aren't tolling for me.
No, no. Adachi Tsushimamura is behind us. They cannot hurt you anymore.
Hmm. Yeah.
But regarding the rest of the show, man, this episode was so good. Jujutsu Kaisen was the second. I'm sorry, I'm still laughing. I have to take a moment. Uh, oh man, I gotta get this one. Meep has had to step away for a moment, guys. But yeah, it's just like proposes to Jujutsu Kaisen, gets rejected by Jujutsu. But yeah, no, this episode had so many good moments. It was the first moment. It was the wait, no, no. The first thing I watched was Ikebukuro Westgate Park because I wanted to get the finale over with and just have my feelings on that show known and just ready to go whenever. And then I watched Jujutsu Kaisen because I wanted something upbeat. I was not satisfied with the action or dynamics in Ikebukuro, so I was like, all right, let's go Jujutsu Kaisen. And man, I was blown away when the first 5 minutes was just a continuation of the last fight until and Mahito just getting stomped until he said, "Fuck! Now that I'm so close to death, I can finally do it. I can activate my domain." And I was like, "Ah, oh, man, so good, so good." Also, homie turned into fucking needles. When he did that shit, I was like, because he was like showing the full range of his powers, and I'm like, nah, baby, no, this too much. This too much. I can't do it all. It's like fucking Mahito, what is he?
He can form his soul into any shape.
He turns into a fucking spiny, and then he turns into baby.
And then he turns into goop and slides through the sewer grate.
Yeah, I'm upset about that. Like Meep was talking about like Meep. You're well, he said step away. So Meep was is talking about like having consequences and like having the fucking bad guy get away after being triumphed over 3 times in one combat sucks because Nanami's like talking to Secretary Kun and it's just like even you could exercise him right now at with the amount of damage that he has.
The way the way they've sort of been describing Mahito and setting him up, I'm actually seeing I'm actually seeing the whole purpose behind this, and especially how he was talking in the sewers, that he is going to be the anti to Itadori. He is I because they talked about like wanting to make Jogo Itadori's goal, but I think it's Mahito. That is his goal. They're both fresh to this. They're both still learning and getting stronger, and I could see that just being that is his goal to beat Mahito
Okay,
for for vengeance and just because of sort of a small sort of a kind of parallel they're trying to draw between like how they're both still fresh and learning.
okay, I like that. I damn it, I actually like that a lot because at first I thought it was just going to be cool because their powers contradict each other and Itadori is like the anti to Mahito, but but Mahito could also be very much detrimental to Itadori, as we saw when Itadori just straight up fucking passes out.
Yeah,
Um, but I don't know if it's just because I really want Mahito to die, and it's not like I have this like contempt rage for him. I think Mahito's a piece of shit. I hate what he did to Junpei, but I expected it. The way he fights is vile and rambunctious, but it fits his character. His motivations are childish and immature, which only add to his terrifyingness. But it was a good fight. It was a good entire fight, and him just getting away kind of took it away. Like Meep said, undermines the impact of the fight. You know?
I'm only gonna be upset if they take away the final fight with Mahito away from Itadori.
If they what?
That's the if they take away the final fight with Mahito from Itadori, that is the one that is when I'll actually be upset. But otherwise, I the way I saw them sort of building Mahito, I did not expect him to be killed in this fight.
Well, welcome back, Meep.
Oh, you told them I was gone.
Yeah, because I realized I addressed you and then you couldn't answer, so the cat came out of the bag.
Mm.
Why did you put a cat in a bag? It's rude, Dalaran.
The cat was being rude, Gilly. It started it.
You can't just put cats in bags and throw them in the river.
I never said anything about a river, Gilly. Hmm? Gilly's kind of sus, guys. Speaking of, but like character decisions, do you think Itadori jumped into his domain knowing that it would touch Sukana's soul, or was Itadori just trying to be a good boy and rescue Nanami?
No, because remember, Nanami says, "Yeah, no, you saved my life," and Itadori goes, "I did." Then Nanami goes, "Yeah, no, he touched you. He touched your soul, and because of that, Sukuna attacked him." And he's like, "Oh, well, then it wasn't me that saved you."
Yeah, yeah,
Pretty sure
yeah.
he was just being impulsive. It's kind of in his character.
I was gonna say it fits his character more.
He just sort of does things.
I it's just man, this whole episode is great. Like last episode we got these like grotesque facial expressions, and by grotesque I don't mean gross, but actually grotesque. Like like extreme facial expressions of sadism, of distress, of rage, of pain. Here we just had all of that funnel into the action. Like I remember watching this episode and I was like, man, this is really good. This is really 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 good, really good. The animation got weird a few times. Itadori's face when he like was like about to cry, realizing he has to kill these kids, these transfigured humans, was like felt off model, but it doesn't matter. Mute if you're gonna meep meep.
I'm trying to hit the mute button. It's not working.
Remember what they say: no eating at mic. But yeah, it's just I remember ending the episode and the question of is Junpei alive or dead rattling around my head, but also just like the action, the impact, the disappointment that Mahito survives. But again, Gilly, I hear it. I hear it. I feel a lot better after listening to what you said. I still wish Mahito stayed dead because like arguing on the side of Meep before, much more impact. But I guess, Shonen gonna do what Shonen gonna do. And also Nanami.
Itadori needs a Itadori really needs a character they can cement as his primary target. And honestly, the leader of that group, Ghetto, I don't see this as being the kind of anime where they're gonna send the young learning person after the masterful enemy.
Yeah,
I
no, we're
don't
not
see
gonna.
them doing that.
Yeah. And I agree. I do think that's. Yeah, we'll see who Ghetto. I mean, Ghetto's probably gonna fight the principal, and that's how the
I,
principal is gonna die. That's my assumption.
honestly, I see Ghetto being Gojo's target.
He knows not to fight Gojo. I think he knows Gojo is stronger than him.
He may know, but I think he's the only one in that group that stands any kind of a chance.
Maybe, maybe. But yeah, Nanami using video game
Nah,
logic.
Jojo Gojo round 2.
I
Electric
mean, it's probably
Jugalu.
gonna happen, and it's probably gonna be just as funny.
He just gets stomped again.
It's just going to break him.
Yeah, Gojo's just like, I don't understand. Why can't I beat him? And then everyone just turns around and looks at him and is like, cause you're comic relief.
Because he's stronger than you. Fuck you.
Fuck you. No, he's not. Um, yeah, we're the adults now. Our generation is now adults. We talk about video games and stocks. That was great. And do we want to? Actually, before we switch to the jujitsu stroll, Meep already mentioned it, but that scene with the bully, who's still a piece of shit, and the teacher, who's also kind of a piece of a shit, but that's because he's a coward and spineless and a slug, but he's now like genuinely regretting his decisions and action and specifically inactions. That scene was good. I needed that closure
The
because
teacher actually sits there and regrets everything. That bully does not.
that bully's like, oh, what about him? He broke my like fucking because he's a rich prick.
He's a little cunt.
He's a fucking cunt. He really is. He's a fucking rich cunt. And then Itadori's like reflection at the end, his eyes having lines under them, which implies that he's tired because and has been crying. But just the lighting and color as he's walking toward Gojo Nanami, his two kind of mentors down his jujitsu path. Just so good. And the whole Nanami's backstory, we didn't really get into it, but fitting the character, it's boring. It's interesting, but boring to talk about. Like, it fits the character so well. Like I didn't question a moment of it.
Why would you?
Character writing.
It seemed there. I mean, there needed to be a reason why he. There needed to be some kind of reason why, like, oh yeah, I used to be a businessman, but I decided to drop all that to be a jujutsu sorcerer again. There'd be some kind of reason behind it, and I think that was a very. I liked that reason.
Yeah,
Just
I
found it
agree.
just found the whole idea of it more satisfying.
Or he thinks, well, I you think that, but I think he was just trying to find purpose.
That's the whole thing. He when he got thanked for it, it was just something he wasn't used to.
Yeah, because the
He
dude
actually
obviously
felt something from it.
his whole life plan was just work a job tirelessly until he makes enough money, and then he's going to retire and spend his life so in a cheap country just being comfortable. That's it. I'm nobody, I'm nothing. I only care about money because that's just going to give me a simple, uncomplicated life for me. And then it eventually dawns on him that there are good people that he enjoys, even though he feels like he can't be them or with them. Because I think he made the decision where he's like, okay, this girl's obviously hitting on me, and she's really, and she's cute, she's delightful, but I can't be with her. And he's just like, he saves her and makes the decision that he's going to at least find some kind of purpose in life. That's the way I took it, and I thought that was great. Because it keeps his pessimism intact while giving him agency and purpose. And I'm like, yeah, do it.
Yeah, not Nanami started out being not too interesting for me, and ended up being one of the more interesting side characters in the show. Which the show seems to like to focus on its adult side characters more.
I just think, I don't know, we're probably going to get a lot of the teens when the show comes back.
Well,
Yeah,
as I've said before, from what it's looking like, we're gonna, especially with how this ended, it looks like once it's on its break, we're going straight into tournament arc territory.
Tournament arc!
oh yeah. Which, man, I wonder how it's going to stack up compared to like the UA Sports Festival and stuff like that.
I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
I'll be honest, I never hold any tournament arc in high expectation because there's just been so many meh ones.
Tournament to Power coughs. Duh. So we,
Speaking of
Tournament arcs and high expectations, and I'm so used to them at this point. I don't really hope for anything to be stand out, but I just hope for something to be a little different.
yeah, man, uh, I feel you.
Just something a little fresh.
This show has like done really well to like meet expectations and then take it, if not beyond, somewhere interesting. So I'm excited to see where the how the tournament will be done, especially because it's already been told to us that the last tournament they did, Ghetto interrupted, so we might see some more sinister shit. Um, Speaking of things though, holding out expectations for, the jujitsu stroll this time was just literally made me go ah, like I audibly said ah when they talk about Itadori and memories and how everyone got really somber when they're like, oh, the meatballs are so good, like, do you know how to cook, Fushiguro? And uh, he's like, no, I mean, yeah, but this is Itadori's recipe, and everyone got really sad around the hot pot. It was really wholesome and really sad, and it makes me really excited for Itadori's reveal because I get the feeling it's really going to be something. And I trust this anime not to fumble it.
It it was very wholesome. It was very cute. I I will say though, it wasn't supposed to make well, I know it wasn't supposed to make me laugh, but when Nobara referred to the meatballs as Itadori's legacy, I couldn't help myself.
It was funny.
Just calling it his legacy, like what? Oh, why?
also, I'm surprised no one brought us up about what happened to the fourth. What happened to the fourth pinky? I realized something that I think we missed episode 10, where no, not 10, episode 11, uh, the Jujutsu school were the ones that found what Junpei's mom dead. And as far as the Jujutsu school is aware, Itadori is dead. So it makes sense that they just keep the pinky instead of giving it to him.
Oh. Is that what happened?
I'm pretty sure because I was confused too at why. I'm like, oh, where'd the pinky go? Oh, wait. They found the mom dead, so they obviously would have found the pinky because they mentioned that a Sukuna pinky was next to her. So I suppose it would make sense if they took it and kept it, because as far as they're aware, Itadori is dead.
Can't believe Itadori's fucking dead.
I'm just waiting because I just know when he meets back up with his friends that Nobara is probably going to deck him.
She doesn't need to be more Sakura like.
Yeah, but she's already very aggressive.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for now the school has 6 fingers in its possession. I'm just waiting for the for the probably before the Shibuya incident where it's like, oh fuck, something's gonna happen with Gojo. Itadori, Kentucky Fried Fingies, and just shove them down his throat. I wonder how many fingers the anime is up to, or not the anime, the manga is up to at this point. I'm gonna guess somewhere around 10. That's my guess.
I mean, we'll see.
Pinkies by Itadori.
So, how is it working? Is the show going to pick up with the winter season, or is it going to pick up before the winter season?
The winter season after next week. The winter season starts the week after that, so it's gonna start on. The next episode is coming out on the 15th, so that'll be our second episode of the winter season.
Okay, so it's actually starting a week late.
A week in, but we have other shows that are starting that week too.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's going to start with our second set of winter shows, if that makes sense.
Gotcha. And you can find out which shows we're watching and when we're starting to watch them in our Discord.
I was hoping to reveal which shows we're watching after the award ceremony.
Yeah, don't mean now, but be there. If you dare.
Yeah, if you want to plead your case for why things should get nominated, now would be the time.
Now, yeah.
I've already made my decisions. I will not be turned.
Yeah.
Yeah, you said that about Fruit Tart.
I think after...
I said I made my decisions. I will not be turned. I watched Fruit Tart to the end, Dalaran. I am stubborn.
That you are.
Well, does anyone have any last things to say about Jujutsu Kaisen?
Yeah, I'm just gonna give my final wrap-ups. This was a fantastic mid-season finale. So good. The action was fantastic throughout almost all of the fight. It impressed me. I was like, well, goddamn. It didn't quite have the spectacle as we saw in Akudama episode 2 or 3, whatever was it. But still, just, so dynamic. The animation, albeit odd sometimes in terms of the characters in, greater distances, was dynamic, and there was so much attention and effort into the actual fighting scenes with Mahito getting his shit rocked. It's not just money thrown at the artist. There was obviously incredible direction, and it felt like there was a lot of care put into it. That being said, I'm standing by what I said, though. Mahito surviving by running away is kind of lame and a bit of a cop-out, at least in my opinion. Gilly, you've made a good point. I think it might be less of a cop-out, and actually, you know what? No, I take that back. Gilly, you made a good point. So I no longer think it's a cop-out. I think it's a little lame. I think it would have been great to see him eradicated. But the things that you foreshadowed, have me excited for the future, and I'm kind of digging what you were putting down. But yeah, still, Nanami didn't die. Itadori has even more character growth within him now, seeing that kind of development occur, which I understand why you feel so strongly about Junpei staying dead, Meep. Um, but I think my last note is
To be
that
clear,
Junpei's resolve is starting to become a little repetitive, because he's kind of said the same thing 3 times now, where it's like, no more people die, no more people die. I'm not going to be weak, and I won't let other more people die. And I'm like, we get it.
well, this time he said he's kill someone.
Dun dun dun.
Any other shonen would have had him go, "No, I made a mistake. I let my anger get the best of me. I won't let that happen again." No, this time he's like, "No, I don't know what a proper death is, but I will kill him." And also, to be clear, I don't hate Junpei as a character. I love him as a character. That's why I think it means all that much if he stays dead. It means that much more.
Nah, I got you. And yeah, no, I agree with you, honestly. At the end of the day, I've said my points. Unless anyone has anything else to say, all I will say is that I am excited for the continuation of this series in the winter season.
Yeah,
Gilly, I know it's semantics at this point, but are you fucking this show?
oh, yeah, it's a good show, and
Hey,
I'm very excited. I it's very contradictory to what I just said a few minutes ago. I am excited for the tournament arc. I'm just hoping it'll do something special and not be the same tournament arc I see in so many different shows. You
does
know,
Black
Hunter x
Clover
Hunter
have?
just throw. You know, Hunter x Hunter throws you into a tournament arc in the first first 6 episodes.
Oh, jeez.
Uh, uh, I'm sorry. What?
I was.
Did you, oh, does Black Clover have a tournament arc? Yes, it does.
Ah,
Yes, it does, but it gets interrupted, kind of like the tuning exams.
hmm. Anime and their tournaments.
Yes, it does.
Shonen.
It does have a tournament arc. It was very interesting.
Shonen and their
I can't
tournament.
say good, but it was interesting.
We got you to admit it.
Hey, I will say there's lots of things that's bad with that show. I still love it though.
But does One Piece have a tournament arc?
I yes, actually, during the Dressrosa arc, there's a huge tournament to fight for for Ace's devil fruit that's being auctioned off in a gladiatorial combat.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
there's an actual tournament arc in One Piece, and I remember this distinctly because the Dressrosa arc is too long and it hurt my soul. Going on.
well, a show that doesn't have a tournament arc. Akudama Drive, episode 12, the finale. The gang survives the explosion, but not unscathed. Swindler gives her life to stall the executioners and send a message to all the citizens to revolt. Courier is backed into a corner but saved by the riot. Wounded and being chased, Courier fights off 3 airships while the kids escape, taking down the third of taking down the third airship using the help of hackers EMP. The show ends as we see the kids cross through a tunnel holding hands as Courier dies. You know, I have prided myself about how I've been right about this show before. Gilly, I will give this to you. You were right. It did kill off all the characters.
Yeah, and I didn't want to be right. I was worried about this from the beginning. I didn't think it would do it, but I know that's one of the things I do not like when shows do.
I
It
get
hurts.
where you're,
Yeah.
I get where you guys are coming from. I do. I really do. I still think that this show. I also, to be super clear, I too do not like people killing off characters for the sake of emotional effect or like as a narrative ploy. Like, I like Akigame Kill. They did it to make you cry. They did it to hurt you. Here, I stand by my statement. I think each character's death serves a purpose. Once you accept that they're going to die, they serve a narrative purpose to push and propel the struggling of these two children who basically embody both sides of this twisted world forward.
I agree with you, except for Courier. His felt unearned to me.
So it's funny you're okay, so let's talk about Courier. It's funny you mention it because Courier, while he didn't have a lot going on for him in terms of like personality, he really didn't. He was edge boy and everything. Like, the finale for him was fantastic. Like, he didn't need a lot of personality in his character. He had actions speaking for him. And I agree. I agree. I think if we learned more about Courier and if we had more emotion from him, his actions would have even had more weight. But the way I felt first of all, this episode's fucking incredible. Like, holy shit! Like, the action in this is insane. You like Attack on Initial D. You got Attack on Titan, Initial D drifting up a fucking falling radio tower. Ah, so good. But in the end, how he fought tooth and nail for these kids, that he just accepted that this is their goal. Like, he has accepted his place in this, and he fought with such tenacity, sacrificing his bike, sacrificing his arm, just to save these kids as he's bleeding out the whole time. What a fucking badass.
Fair.
The scene where he's using his railgun and it's broken, so it's not working. So he slaps his fucking metal arm on it and uses to complete the archway to shoot the last plasma round on the fucking airship that was already off. Why did he do it? Fuck it, because fuck them. That's why. Ah, what a fucking ballsy ass, badass Akudama Drive fucking thing to do.
Yeah.
Also, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I ship him. I ship Courier and Swindler. I didn't believe it on the whole season. I was like, no, I don't ship him. I don't ship him. Like, they play well off of each other, but like, I don't ship him. That opening scene, I ship him. Also, speaking of the opening scene, we'll go right back to the relationship. But again, the animation and expressions in this show, especially in this episode, are amazing. Off the bat, like right off the bat, Swindler's leg broken, just the pain, Emoto, little sister expressing distress. Everyone is just it's brilliant to watch. And yeah, I ship. I'm sorry, guys. I ship Courier and Swindler. Please, please, don't be mad.
Mm. Honestly, I don't have much to say about this episode outside my final thoughts, so I'll just let you two run your minds until we get to cards.
Gilly, do you have something to say, or can I say something really quickly? Gilly.
Go ahead.
Okay, hold on. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Does it sound far away?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, that's because I'm on my knee right now. Akudama Drive, will you marry me?
Well, I am not entirely supportive of this engagement. You have my congrats.
How dare you? I supported your engagement. Akudama Drive, will you please marry me? I will get into more why in a bit. But please, if you'd be so kind, please take my hand in marriage and do not kill me like one of the characters.
You're
It's
asking
too
for a
late now.
lot with that last part.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're gonna get married tomorrow, and then the day after they want you to sign some life insurance papers.
No, they're just gonna send that little girl with the gun.
She was
The
great
fuck?
too.
That that I have issues with that scene because it was just so weirdly done. She's just holding the gun. Bang! Why did you kill my mom and dad? Like emotionally, it worked really well. It was just like so weird the way it went about. It
My
just comes up.
insurance covers children with guns.
I thought that scene was incredible. The genuine distress and brokenness in her voice to bring her to kill the executioners, and the head executioner's bullshit just toppling down on her. Like when I was watching that happen, when I was watching the breakdown, I thought, and like I was just looking at it and I thought, good. And so the house of cards comes crumbling down. Because when you don't value the lives of the people you protect, you have abandoned them. But what they forget, what the head executioner forgot, what all the executioners forgot, is that they are the people. They are the ones who hold your life in their hands. And the executioners got everything that was coming to them. Not to make it too political about the current climate, but when the police force thinks that they have the right to people's lives and that they are above their own laws, when their own cruelty and a culture of abuse and systematic oppression reaches a point of idolatry, that's when things should come down around them. And they fucking did. And goddamn Swindler. What? My god, Swindler. What a final gambit. Holy fuck.
Swin Swindler Silverhand.
Swindler was incredible. I didn't think they would kill her. They killed her before. I didn't think she would die. She died before Courier. Oh my
They
god! Like
they literally crucified her. They could not have nailed that. They could not have nailed Swindler in farther with that notion. They pin her to a bloody, broken part of a building that's shaped like a cross. She literally gets crucified. Fucking calling the kettle black with that one, Akudama Drive.
while I think
Uh,
the metaphor you used is technically incorrect, I understood that meaning, and oh my god, yes, on the nose, but so beautifully on the nose. They fucking hellsinged her.
Nothing like a good
no,
old fashioned crucifixion.
Brawler should have been crucified. He is the true savior.
No, no. Doctor made sure that he bled out before he could have his full action.
So you're saying we should hit? You're saying we should hit? You're saying we should hit Doctor with the 7 signs of the apocalypse:
So,
plague,
funny thing about
and
Doctor, right? I I think Doctor. I kind of said this last episode, but I was more angry and vile toward her. Yes, I would have liked to see Doctor suffer more personally, but objectively, Doctor got the death that she fucking deserved. Trampled underneath the feet of just people who don't know her and don't give a fuck about her, completely helpless, unable to do anything with all of her great power. Dead in a rut like the trash person that she is.
Hmm? The police chief also shoots himself in the mouth. That was a thing.
Oh, yeah.
That part happened too quickly for me.
I agree. I agree.
Like
I mean,
we
the
know he
last the last
quickly.
3 episodes we've been seeing the guy, he's been having a nervous breakdown on a couch and doing nothing else.
I
Yeah, yeah. Though he just kind of steps out and goes, "Ah, yes." Then it like he pulls it out instantly. There was I don't know. It's just something with it sat with me wrong.
on one hand, I understand that Japan has a thing about suicide. Don't look at Persona 3. I don't know how Persona 3 got away with it. Japan has a thing with suicide. But I agree with Meep. There's not even the other hand. I do agree with Meep. I think the chief's suicide. First of all, I thought he was going to shoot the head executioner. That would have been amazing.
Yeah, that would have been better.
They did build up to his suicide, like Gilly said. It didn't come out of nowhere. It was over and done with in a blink, and I thought that was a shame because that was a scene that could have had much more emotional impact. Don't get me wrong, this episode was nonstop and it was incredible, but that I agree with you. The police chief's death, I think, could have been more. And I'm looking at chat right now, and they're right. The censor is back, ruining many really good shots, but they were so quick in this episode that I didn't have enough time to be upset about it. However, they did not censor the chief's death, and he erupted in a helsing amount of blood fountaining.
Yeah. Also, I just got a DM, and I think this person's right. The reason he was so scared and breaking down is because he was appointed after Cutthroat killed the previous one in episode 1.
I think the head executioner also said that she picked him personally because she knew she could use him and like direct him and manipulate him.
Yeah, I didn't realize he was appointed after Cutthroat killed the first police chief in episode 1. I didn't realize that.
It yeah yeah. I mean, he was the seeing the systematic breakdown of society around them was incredible, and the way they were able to weave that in genuine, like it felt natural, it didn't feel forced into the ridiculous amount of action this episode was so good. Also, I will say one thing though that doesn't make sense now that I think about it. Why are Molotov grenades absolutely wrecking the tanks?
I don't know.
They're
The fire
bulletproof,
was
not
gorgeous.
fireproof.
They're not fireproof. They started overheating. Because in episode 1 it took a
Also,
fucking railgun beam to destroy one of those after destroying the barrier.
They're made of the
Courier,
thermal gel they used on the original PS3s.
Courier also shot a woman in the fucking eye this episode.
Yeah. Yeah,
The one
couriers.
executioner that just got lit on fucking fire.
Yeah, she got fucking emulated and fucking fast. Also, again, the fire, gorgeous. It was so fluid. It was like watching liquid.
She was sitting there just like, what the hell is going on? And she gets hit with a Molotov and screams as she burns to death.
It was even the scene. It's playing in my head right now. It was incredible. The Molotov falls like next to her, and like the fire like touches her leg, and then whoosh, just engulfs all of her in this like it some whoever directed this show, like, you have my, not just my congratulations and my respect, you have my gratitude.
It reminded me of Jogo emulating everyone in the cafe in Jujutsu
Yeah.
Kaisen. So I still think Jujutsu Kaisen's fire looked better for me personally. It is two different art styles, so it's hard to compare the two. It's just I think that's my preferred art style.
Yeah, no, you have a good, yeah, it was as fluid and detailed and utterly dangerous as Jogo's fire, and that's saying something.
Little do we know, Jogo is just in the background. I am a true human. Emulates all the executioners.
A tank? You think a tank can stop me?
Domain.
Why is Jogo just Quee for you?
Oh my god. Because he is fucking quee. He talks a lot of shit and gets blown up.
I still don't understand why you don't like Jogo at all. He's
He's a
perfect for
piece
what
of
he is.
shit!
He is, but that liking liking an evil character doesn't make you evil. Frieza is my favorite Dragon Ball character.
I'm not complaining. I just find it fucking funny that you're going for Quee with the way you voice him.
He's a piece of shit. Also, I do like bad characters. Play my campaign.
I
But-
would if you'd invite me, Galeron.
It's not that you're uninvited, it's just I have way too many players. This is my first time running a full-time campaign, and I have 6 players, and I'm just sitting there going, what do I do?
Yeah, you know how I feel.
So, do we want to talk about well, you know what? I'm not even going to segue this that way. I'm going to segue this way. So, did anyone else was anyone else holding out hope that Pupil was going to turn on the executioners and turn Akudama?
I wasn't holding out hope for it because I didn't expect it. I expected her to run away with her disciple.
He got fucking shot by a kid.
Yeah, we don't see Pupil die, so, you know, as well as the executioners that kill Swindler, we don't see them die either.
That's a shame. That blonde bitch deserved a fiery death. God.
Yeah.
And the fight between Pupil and Courier, while probably the shortest dynamic fight, like really involved dynamic fight in the show, I might be wrong. Don't quote me on that, but how it felt to me, it was so good. Seeing fucking Courier roundhouse kicks her to the face, and she falls backwards, and he tries to shoot her, and she deflects it with her.
Yeah.
Like the joke I made when we were picking out screenshots. Good thing Courier's kicks aren't like cutthroats, otherwise her face would have come off.
Yeah.
This show does gore so well. If we could see it.
I was gonna say.
The
are you
censor
talking
bothered
about?
me. It did. But for some reason it wasn't as bad as that other time. And I'm sorry, Gilly, you were saying?
I was just making a joke.
Do it. Make the joke.
I made my joke. All I said is, what are you talking about?
And man, I'm sorry, I'm raving. This episode was wild. How'd you guys feel about the fucking attack on Initial D or Initial D on Titan? Like the fucking the radio tower scene was incredible.
I enjoyed it okay. I'm nowhere about this episode as you are. I'll just say that straight up.
Gilly,
I don't.
for a long
if either
time.
of us are.
Sorry, go ahead, Meep.
I was just gonna say I don't know if either of us are, but I won't speak for you, Gilly.
Yeah, Gilly, you've been on and off about the show, and I know it killed off all the characters, and that's exactly what you didn't want it to do, and it ended up doing it, and for that, I am sorry.
It's
Yo!
not been on and off. It's really had me off of it for a while now, and then it did exactly what I didn't want, and that's just, yeah, that did nothing to bring me back.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. In that case, allow me to continue my hype train. I can't believe I forgot about this, but The moment, quoting chat, quoting Death to Reality specifically, the moment the opening started playing, uh, like, yo, how fucking great was that use of the opening? Like, in my notes, I have, yes, use that opening theme, because it was such a great fucking use of it, too. And unlike other shows, they didn't really weave the opening into their into any other episodes. Well, now that I'm saying that, I'm realizing the only show that really did that regularly was Ikebukuro. But regardless, it God, what a fucking stunning visual performance. And then at the very end, just the sakura blossoms flowing. My voice is dying. The sakura blossoms flowing at the kid's feet. Ah! Indicating, signifying change and new beginnings. Ah! It's so good.
Everyone those kids know and love is dead.
Yep, I agree. I just.
It's not a thing to agree to, it's a fact.
That's why I
We're
agree.
just waiting. Can you just imagine, little sister with her brother just walking out and her asking, "I wonder when Big Sis is gonna get here."
Oh, oh no.
Do you think Little
No.
Sisters can go on a vengeance quest?
So, it's funny you say that.
Last of Akudama 2?
Well, that's the thing. I don't think I want Akudama Drive to Electric Boogaloo.
I don't either.
Yeah, Chad brings up a good point. What the fuck was that about? When Swindler was about to die, she saw the kids crossing into the tunnel.
I assumed that was her going to heaven see Brawler Hoodlum. That's what I assumed.
Yes, my other theory, where all the Hakadama that weren't assholes meet up in heaven.
Yeah, I noticed that too when it happened, and it connected in my head at the very end because they replayed the scene in case we didn't get it, which I was like, okay. Even when they initially played it, I kind of that's what I assumed it was. Like, I'm like, is that the two? Is that the brother and the sister, two same sized individuals off in the silhouette? Um, but I didn't bring it up because I don't understand what it meant.
I think it's just her seeing that her death isn't in vain and that the kids got away. I think that's just what it meant.
Also, how are you this flat talking about her death? The animation, the blood pouring down her own blood pouring down her body, uncomfortably down her sides and then in between her legs, and then the way everything she fell with a smile, her hair. God damn, this show loves.
The
Yeah.
the fact that it's animated well doesn't mean I'm completely okay with the way they handled it or the way that all the characters died. I Swindlers didn't feel Swindlers felt earned. It just something with it felt off for me. I don't know.
I don't like that Swindler died too. I wanted Swindler, Emoto, and Little Brother to all go into the new world together. This whole time I was saying everyone's going to die just to make sure that Swindler gets them to the job. But the fact that Swindler died first not only gives me a big emotional reaction, was me accepting what you two feared, that this show is going to kill off its characters. And once I accepted that they were going to die and that they shouldn't live, I was able to appreciate the theatrical artfulness, the theatrical artfulness of their deaths. And if you have to say, if there's anything to say about Swindler's death, it was definitely artful or theatrical.
It was also really on the nose. They fucking crucified her. That I actually kind of laughed at that. I'm like, my fucking god, they just crucified her.
I got sirens.
I Are we ready for cards? Because
I
I
mean,
am.
unless Dalaran has more to say, then I'd say yes.
Okay.
I don't know
Well,
if he stepped away because of the sirens, or if
We're good to
he's
go.
just
We're good
muted.
to go.
okay. I'll hold up mine first. This finale did just enough to get the fuck from me. It it was, but purely on the merit of the cool factor. Narratively, I think a lot of this was handled in not the best way. The riot was handled well. It had build up. There was some stuff. There was a lot of stuff handled well, but ultimately, the death of Swindler, something didn't sit right with me. All the characters dying. It like after Hoodlum's death, Hoodlum and Doctor, after their death, the show is gonna just start killing all the characters, or even after Cutthroat's death, that something just didn't sit right with me. I still recommend this show to people, but just know that its peak is at episode 6, and it starts having a decline from there. It's episode 6, Brawler's death. It's something after Brawler died. Something was missing, and that, as I realized a couple episodes ago, that was the show's comedic edge. It's because it had a lot of comedy. It had a lot of relief in episodes 1 through 6, and it started missing that after Brawler was gone, after Hoodlum was gone, after everyone's gone. There's not because Swindler's bits were never comedic to me. Episode 1 through 6, she had funny moments, but it started missing that, and then the heavy censorship started, and the show just had a steady decline, and it ended with the finale right almost at my point where I would have knifed it. Well, ultimately, I'm giving this show the fuck. I'm disappointed by the show.
Hurts to hear, but it's okay. Me and my married individual. Fuck. If I marry Akudama Driver, do I get all the Akudamas? Because I don't know how I feel about that.
You have to
No, you
take
only
it
get
in all
Cutthroat.
its glory. You have to take it in all its glory, Dalaran.
Damn it.
You have to take Doctor. You have to take Cutthroat.
Damn it.
You
You
have
also
to
have
take the. You have to take the boss, Executioner.
to.
Yeah, but
You
this
also have to take Akudama number 3 that they executed in the street.
this joke could go very wrong if we start thinking about the kids as the Akudama too.
Only if you think about it too hard.
When you add it, Brawler will protect me. Yo, what's up? So, Gilly, what say ye?
I'm gonna kill the show. It I it just I fell off of it a while several episodes ago, and then it just continued doing things I didn't like and culminated in the thing I wanted the least. So it really dropped me hard at the end here.
Yeah.
Like this is sadly something I cannot go and rewatch, which is depressing.
At the end of the day, the way it handled its characters is not for you. So, am I correct in saying that you guys feel that this show is good, just not for you?
I feel that the show is good is amazing, astounding for the first 6 episodes, then has a heavy drop off point, and I think objectively its quality falls as well as subjectively Because I think we can all agree the peak is episode 6. Dalaron, during that episode, you were ranting and raving about how good the fight scene was between Executioner and Brawler.
Episode 6 was really fucking good.
That's when you said you wanted to marry the show.
I did want to marry this show, and I was really scared about this finale. Should I just get into my thoughts?
Yeah.
Where to begin? Oh, I know. This show is incredible. I know it's not right for you two. I get it. And I'm not going to argue it because I understand where you're coming from. I really do. Just fuck, man. This show is so much what I wanted. The set pieces, the landscapes, the animation, the expressions, the characters. Social issues and justice, freedom and sacrifice, ideals and resolve. This show has it all. Yes, it might not have been done the way you want them to, but I simultaneously am judging the show on what it did and not what it didn't do. And at the end, I really liked what it did. Seriously, this show has it all. You want car chases? You got car chases. Up fucking buildings and fucking rappelling ropes across radio towers. You want incredible fighting choreography? Have plenty of it. You want heartwarming expressions of humanity both through struggles and love? Here you go. Jokes? Got 'em. Style? Got 'em. This show has won my heart through and through, and I know I said it already, but please, will you marry me? Akudama Drive. Swindler got the coin back to Curry. Okay, yes, Swindler did get the... How did you add a little Christmas hat to my emote? That's cool. I like that. Anyway. Man. God, we'll talk about it more during awards, but I was worried. I was on the ropes with this show multiple times. But like someone who has become very close to me said, it's okay to have issues as long as you communicate and work through them together. And this show brought it around for me. I get where you guys are coming from. I really do. But Akudama Drive blew me out of the water with most importantly, its incredible character writing. This show rarely misses a beat and never uses its time for something unimportant. Yes, there were lulls, there were bad episodes. It's not perfect, but I would recommend everyone watching Akudama Drive in 2 or 3 sittings, whether it be episode 1 through 6 and then 7 to 12, or just, watching it in thirds and kind of going through it at your own pace. But my gods, it's so good. So good. I'm sorry that you guys don't feel the same way. But this show's ability to write its characters, regardless if it kills them off or not, is incredible. It's astounding. Its character growth, its character developments, its characters' depth and range. It's so good. And I was stuck between Akudama Drive, Adachi to Shimomura, and Jujutsu Kaisen. This gave me closure, and it gave me a concise ending. I feel whole watching this show. I went on the drive, and now it's done. And sometimes we hit a couple of rough patches, but damn it all, was that not one hell of a ride.
You don't get to fucking use that pun.
Yes, I do. Also, Chad, you
Buddy.
guys can fight over individual Akudamas all you want. I have entered a relationship with all of them, but it's okay. We can share. Shall we talk about Kuma Bear?
Do we have to?
Yes.
Kuma 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 Bear, episode 12. Yuna gets really busy digging tunnels and playing negotiator, and Fina gets jealous and lonely and starts avoiding Yuna. Yuna takes her to where they met and declares she wants to be with her.
Precious as always.
Yeah.
It's just
I
really sweet, and it's doing the cute little thing it always does.
I agree, 100%. This episode is. I don't know how. Like, it's weird. It ended like it doesn't feel like there's a season two. Like, it really feels like. Oh well, you guys heard that. It really feels like it's concluded, but yeah, it's just really good. They tied a bunch of things back in a way that most shows don't. Like, they did it in a different way. Like, the characters came back in terms of relativity to Yuna in, like, compared to Yuna compared to Fina, and I mean, we got some deep character moments. Like, Fina really felt upset, and like it was really human. And Meep, you're gonna be upset about this, but while Adachi to Shimomura, it's not. It talked about, you know, insecurities and like feelings that people have in a very realistic and human way.
Jujutsu Kaisen does it better.
Sure, whatever. Like, it's I mean, I'll just give my thoughts on the episode now. Like, it was, like Gilly said, it was really cute. Like, cute. And that's what the show does best. And it's nice how they both brought the story and Yuna back full circle. They gave her like a different express. Again, this show doesn't need to do a lot. It works the best in simplicity. But the way that the kids all like worked, like the way that all the different characters kind of helped her feel at home in this new world where she didn't even realize it, but she's done looking back, and she's kind of like become a new person, her actual self, while connecting with this, like, with Fina, and like being, yeah, Fina, and being like creating this sisterly bond was great. She doesn't, like, they had growth in a show that doesn't even need it. And yeah, they even added some character develop. They even added some insecurities to the character development. Like, sometimes friends get jealous, especially when you become used to spending time together, and it's okay to ask for confirmation and to want to be assured every once in a while. And man, this show's just good, man. It's simple. It feels good, man.
It really does. It's pleasant, it's fun to watch. And it kind of the way they did this finale, I really appreciated because while Yuna's been, away down by this coastal city, there has been no Fina. It's all been Yuna. Like, Fina's been missing for a while now, and I brought it up last time that it almost felt weird that she hasn't been there. And then they actually really heavily addressed that in the finale.
Yeah, I forgot you mentioned that, but yeah, holy shit.
Yeah, I brought up that I thought it felt weird because she'd always been in every episode, even if it was only for a little bit, and it felt so weird for her to be gone for so long. And
Yeah,
they
and
address that and make it into like the premise of the entire episode, and I really liked that and thought it was really sweet. And the very end of this episode that just has Yuna popping in through the door because she just got home, and they're both smiling was just a very adorable send off of this.
mm-hmm.
That last like frame.
I thought the whole scene was really good. I felt like they could have gone deeper a little bit, just a little bit deeper, a little bit more crying. But like, yeah, I teared up. I teared up heavy after Akudama Drive, but I teared up for this too. And again, this show brings out emotions out of me, and like, it has no right to do that. Who gave it the right? Who gave it the right to give me this cute moe anime show about like just wholesome girls having fun and being OP and bring out real human emotion both from me and their characters? And they're both dumbasses. Like they're both soft, loving, insecure dumbasses, and I think that's great because Yuna's 15 and Fina's 10, and they're gonna fucking make problems. And I don't like in these isekai, especially in these isekai shows, but they have the protagonist and they have their harem, right? Even if it's not like a romantic harem, they have this group of followers that like idolize them and are like, "Oh, Yuna, Kuma-chan, Kuma-sama. Oh, you're amazing, you're amazing." And like it's so refreshing to see the characters be like, "Hey, like every time they become more and more powerful, everyone's like, "Oh, you're amazing. Oh, you're so great. I'm so fortunate to be with you." And like to see a character just be like, "Yo, like I'm happy for you, but like I'm sad." Like in Fina even said it, like, "I'm sorry, but like I really am glad you're succeeding and that you're doing all these great things, but like I'm sorry, but what about me? Like I don't see you anymore, and like it feels like you're with everyone and like we're not special." And that's a real fucking feeling, man.
You like that show so much, well, you just marry it.
Nah, we have a rule. We can be polyamorous, but we can only enter a civil union with one show.
I know. I'm making a joke.
I know. I just really like good writing. And I never expected in this show, but for some fucking reason, Kuma fucking Bear has these moments of like really good writing just throughout this really chill, low key show. Also, Gilly, Gens gets called Gens Dad instead of Uncle Gens, and I just went,
Oh
ah.
yeah, I had to like rewind for a second because I thought I misread it. Like, nope, she called him dad.
They don't even talk about their dead dad anymore. He's just no longer fucking important, I guess. Okay, well.
I thought that too at first, like, oh wait, and then I'm like, no, don't think about it too hard, you'll ruin the moment.
Yeah, Gilly. I'm sorry, Gilly. Meep. Don't get me wrong. Like this show is not perfect, and it has a lot of flaws. Like that whole story beat is just swept under the rug. Dad gets cucked from beyond the grave, and there's not. That's it. We're done with it. No more talking about that. Like,
By his friend too.
Plus, we
yeah,
were
FYI.
extras together.
Don't
Then he
worry.
died. Now I'm banging his wife.
Like, yeah. Don't worry. I'll mortify.
oh, Meep, you died.
Don't worry. I'll immortalize your legacy.
Oh, maybe I don't know what's happening to your net, but it is doing a dead.
It is doing the dead. what I found the most offensive is that in that episode, since it's a retrospect, right? What I found the most offensive is that in the same breath they talked about their dead dad. They're like, Uncle Gens is gonna be our new dad. I'm like, bro, take a breath. Can you let this man's death at least have some weight on this family? Nah, fuck it.
I mean, I have to. Did they say when he died? Because I actually don't remember if they addressed like how recent it was.
I think it's implied that it was when the mother was pregnant with.
I
Because if
think
it
that
because if it had happened like when the girls were still very young, it would make sense why it's not really like why they're not like having some huge reaction.
no, I don't think so. I think it was like a few years ago. But again, and I've said this before, whenever I start thinking about these things in great detail, I realize, wait a minute, this is Kuma 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 Bear. Who gives a fuck?
Does it involve Kumas or bears? No.
Kuma!
Ah, I'm not interested.
And we saw each character come back. I mean, we didn't really talk about it, but like, Yuna succeeded. She got all her sushi. She got her Japanese food.
She got what she wanted.
And the food is starting to look better in this show.
I think it's because they started like talking about it a lot.
Yeah, we talked about this last week, but like this show really became food focused.
It really did, and as they've focused more on the food, they've gone more into detail on the food.
It feels like the show almost like didn't realize that like it's almost like they made a decision midway that like food people like food, like everyone loves food in anime, so just let's double down on food. And they're like, oh, okay.
I mean, have you seen that Food Wars show?
Ah, that'd be hilarious if Yuna fucking comes into Food Wars like as a cameo.
I don't think that's a good idea.
I mean, I never watched Food Wars, so I don't know how good of a fit that would be, but I think it would be funny.
With all the food gasms, I don't think it's a good idea.
Oh,
Here's a
okay,
lie.
okay.
It's a good show, but you don't watch it whatever if you think someone's gonna walk in the room because they'll misunderstand what's happening.
Watching Food Wars, mom walks into my room. I switch over to porn because that'll be easier to explain.
Honestly,
It's just nice. Also, like, Yuna, pay Yuna, please, because he's like, oh, it will take so much work and money to build a tunnel. And she's like, I did it. Can you reward her, please? I mean, I like Yuna getting like fucking called out by the Lord, the Merchant Guild leader, and Atla, but like, hey, do something for her.
give her more property. Let her start her Kuma burger franchise.
I mean, she didn't technically pay for the land where she's opening her restaurant, her restaurant, her Japanese restaurant. So maybe that was part of the payment. She just got land.
Look, she needs to start her burger chain. It needs to spread everywhere.
Burger,
Burger and pudding.
burger,
Bear burger.
burger.
And it came up in a previous episode, but just the Kuma Q and Kuma U just being like little tiny things when they're just like hanging out in the house is one of my favorite things. It's
You
just
can't
so
see me, but I'm
cute.
nodding. I wish I kind of used that still because it's very cute.
I was thinking about suggesting it, but I'm like, they wouldn't. It's just one moment and it's adorable, but it doesn't really represent what happened.
Yeah, but it was like Noah being an actual fucking character too, right after that moment. But it was funny. Like she shows up at the door and the show gives you like a split second of her face like glowing and then she's like, "Hi." And I'm like, "Holy shit, this kid is fucking hype as fuck about bears." And then she's just like, "Oh my god, what cuteness is this?" When she sees the two shrunken down Kumas and she's like, "Miss Yuna, I request that you give me these children right away." And Yuna's just like, "I refuse."
All the children of the kingdom request Yuna's presence.
Yeah, yeah, and it makes sense why Fina would be feeling, left out. Because
It
the show
does.
surprisingly did it right. It wasn't like Yuna comes back and Fina's all huffy. Like Fina wants to hang out and Yuna's too busy. Fina wants to hang out and Yuna's going on another quest. Fina wants to hang out. Sorry, you know what I mean. Fina wants to hang out. Fina wants to hang out. Fina wants to hang out, and Yuna is always preoccupied with something else. And when they finally do get to hang out, she is once again taken away from them by the attention of everyone else. And yeah, dude, that would make me feel a little bit uncomfortable. Let alone a 10-year-old girl.
That just wants her big sis. That's all she wants.
I hope no one tries to like lewd or perverse their conversation at the ending scene because I don't think that has any place in the show.
People will. It's what they do.
Yeah.
It's the
I'm
internet.
not even sitting here. I'm
Just
not
like
even sitting here upset.
yeah,
I just know people will because that's how people are.
just like I'm uploading in our discords. People always pervert things.
And with that, I mean, do you guys have anything else to say about Kuma Bear? Because it's cute. It is what it is. I've said it all.
Well, it was it was mentioned, and I just want to say it again. I don't know how many people actually, other than us, actually enjoyed watching it, but it is getting a season two.
It
It
is getting a
they
season
don't
two. I don't know how
they
it's going to do a season two. I'm sorry, Gilly, I cut you off.
they haven't declared when, but they did announce very shortly after the finale on their Twitter page that it is getting a season two. They have not given a definitive date, but if I had to guess, it's probably either spring or summer. It's not going to be winter because that'd be a very last minute ad. Uh, but it's either going to be spring or summer. I think they have not given a definitive date yet, which I'm going to be looking out for. And yeah, I don't know how they're going to do it either, but that doesn't make me any less excited for it.
That's the thing. Like last episode, I said that I would totally be down for another season of Kuma Bear just to watch Yuna just go on like low key, chill adventures and just do stuff and talk about more food. Like again, this show is not riveting per se, but it's fluff and it feels good. So I'd be down to just watch more. And I actually like Yuna. She's fun. Sometimes the jokes don't land, but it's okay. Nothing's perfect. However,
She's
the way
gotten a
this
lot better.
yeah, yeah. However, the way this episode ended, I mean, I'm good. Like, sure we can have more, but everything henceforth will just feel like filler because we got this really nice full circle moment with Yuna and this like reestablishing of like the relationship and Yuna's with Fina and her resolve. It's yeah, I'm good. Kuma Bear, good ending, solid ending. No one really
Next
knows how to
season,
end
next
slice of
season is
life.
going to be
No one really knows how to end slice of life moe. It's usually ended on a joke and someone screaming in a high pitched voice in the distance, but this was good.
next season is going to be Kuma Bear Code Black, where someone kills Fina and then Yuna goes out for revenge.
Tactical nuke incoming. Oh, I did remember one thing I wanted to talk about
What
in the
I'm
show.
curious, what would it take? Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I'm curious, what would it take for you guys to kill season 2 of Kuma Bear if it makes it on the list? What would it take?
Huh.
I'm not sure.
I mean, a lot of overt sexuality of these very young, very childlike characters. That's for sure.
What if we get a time skip and they're in their early adult life?
Okay, I found a way that I would enjoy Kuma Bear season 2. Just time skip by 10 years and just Kuma Empire.
Time skip by 10
Yep,
years, it
fine.
just becomes an.
Oh my god, time skip by 10 years and they are and Kuma and Yuna and everyone else becomes the new Overlord anime. Kataya Wataka, yay, yay, yeah. Kuma Bear, yay. It's just
I still need to finish season 1 of Overlord. I haven't watched past it.
highly recommend. Overlord is very good.
I might do that since this next week I'm not gonna have any anime to watch. I might just do, or I might watch Vinland Saga. Who knows?
Also, fun thing about Overlord, Japanese, incredible good dub. English, still really good dub. Ain Zhao Gon's voice actor is one of my favorite in the industry in English. The same one who does Enrico Maxwell and Cooler in the Abridged series.
Oh shit!
It's just powerful. It's just, yeah, it's just release of magic, fall down.
Can somebody pick up the phone? Because I fucking called it!
Well, I do hope someone picks up that phone. The what? Because I fucking called it! But one more thing about this episode of Kuma Bear. I almost forgot about it. So, I don't know if this is a thing in Japan to have, like, animal statues outside, like, at the ends of tunnels. But seeing those bear statues by the tunnel brought me right back to, like, old school Pokemon RPGs. Like, just exiting to like Saffron City or something. Just the bike theme playing in my head. Just immediately brought me back to like Pokemon Red and Pokemon Gold.
I think it might have something to do with the dog that waited for his master for the, from the
Oh no,
train.
that came later, but yes.
Oh, yes, I
I
love that
remember
episode
in
of Futurama.
I remember in the Samurai Scooby Doo movie they went to that statue. I don't know why I specifically remember that. I just do.
Guys, what a season of anime it's been, especially for our very first FMK anime.
Yeah, we had 4 good shows.
Rude.
Hey, Dalaran, do you like where I put? Do you like where I put your ring?
What?
Look in the wedding bells.
Oh no, what did you do to my poor heart?
I was gonna put it on Cutthroat, but I couldn't find a good spot of his hand.
You know what? Courier turned out to be a good boy at the end of the day, so I'll accept it. So, you know what? It would you guys be good talking about your one more time just going over your marriages?
Ah, yeah, I'm fine with it.
Do you want to go
Uh,
first, Meep?
Sure. I married Jujutsu Kaisen, my favorite anime of this season, and what might end up being my favorite shonen of all time. My Hero still has a very special place in my heart because I started watching it around when I first met Gilly, actually, about 2 years ago. I've had like 2 years for that to sit in my mind and percolate, and I absolutely loved it. And season 3, season 4 wasn't out that time, but yeah, no, it legitimately was one of my favorite shows at the time. It's still at this point in time, it's my favorite shonen. But Jujutsu Kaisen is climbing the ranks. It is climbing the ranks hard. It's I I don't see any way it could fuck up now because it's been so on the ball.
Cool. Right on, man. I'm not gonna talk about the show myself. This is your moment to shine with it. But what I will say is Noboru's face in that promotional poster looks really weird. Also, I'm now only realizing that all those hands and the eye in the background, that is Mahito.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Cool. But yeah, right on, man. I also really enjoyed the show. I'm really glad you married it. Gilly, tell us about your decision
Look,
with
I
Ryukoku
locked
no
Yukiko
Moriarty.
Moriarty with expectations for the show. It 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 gave me good feelings that I was going to get those expectations, and then it never wavered from what I was expecting and hoping. It literally met exactly what I was hoping for when I picked it. There may have been shows I might have liked more, but it's the only one that I had an idea what I wanted from it, and it gave me that idea and just kept with it the entire time. It met every expectation, and that's why I picked it.
Yeah, man. I'm excited for season 2 too.
Yeah.
And lastly, Akudama Drive. I've spoken about the show a lot already. I love this show. I genuinely do. We had our ups and downs, and again, that's okay. I still think that despite its decisions that worried me, this show excels for its strongest aspect, and that is its characters. I will forever use this show as a reference point of how to do a one season 12 episode anime, and I will also forever use this show as a reference point on how to write characters and interweave group dynamics and have them grow and change with time. Also, the show's fucking beautiful, and I don't use that term often. It is visually stunning.
You you've used it plenty this season.
No, not beautiful. I use gorgeous. I use spectacular. Beautiful is reserved for like the highest peak. So maybe not maybe too much for this case too. But this show is stunning. It is gorgeous. It is so.
I make sure to tell you it's by the Danganronpa people.
It makes me want to play Danganronpa.
I've heard mixed reviews of those games.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And that has been.
I'm sorry, just
Oh.
look in general.
Thought that
Uh,
might be what it was.
what is this? You know what? Not important.
No, it's
Yeah.
not. Just go on.
So, guys,
Yeah,
this has
gotta
been
go.
FMK Anime Autumn or Fall 2020.
Yeah. Thank you everyone for joining us, and let us know in the comments what shows you married. Let us know how our opinions are wrong and bad and feel bad.
Yep. Tell us in our comments how stupid.
Yeah.
They'll definitely, the two of them will definitely read them.
But
uh
no, seriously,
Speaking of which,
it's
I
been an
actually have to.
incredible season. And while the season of anime is over, we are not. We still have.
Everything got quiet.
It's gonna be
Yeah,
fun.
we still have the award ceremony.
gonna be fun, yo. Oh, I'm
Yeet.
tired.
I'm just sitting here now looking at anime that don't even have like an estimated year they're supposed to release.
Gilly, Gilly, you're already ready for more anime. I salute you, sir.
I
Meep,
was just curious
Hell yeah,
what
I'm
like
ready too.
what'd you say, Meep?
I said I'm ready too. I'm excited for the next season. I'm also excited to start talking nominations whenever we can because I have ideas for what I want to nominate, and if I can at least lay them out tonight afterwards, I would appreciate that. Like lay out mine.
Sure. We'll talk after
Ultraman
the
is
stream
getting a
ends.
second season.
Yeah, we'll talk when the stream ends. But until then, guys, everyone, seriously, thank you for joining us. This has been fun. We hope to do more and grow more next season, and it's with all of your involvement that can be possible. So we appreciate you being here. Looking at you, you know who you are. But
They
me.
should.
Oh, Gilly.
I was just gonna say, there's no graveyard tour today because the corpses were lined up with the live people.
I really don't like how you said it.
I just strung them
I mean,
along like a marionette. You couldn't tell the difference.
I could talk about episode 12 of Noblesse, but nothing really happened, and I'd probably just bore you guys.
Yeah, this is the finale of the FMK. Let's give it its due.
Yeah. Can I just say, Gilly, thank you for locking Yukoku no Moriarty, not Noblesse.
Word. And thank you, Akudama Drive, for ending up on the list.
Jujutsu Kaisen was also around one. Only one of our locks got married.
Yeah. Adachi Shimomura, very good show, but yeah. Anyway, Meep, want to sign us off?
Yeah. You can find us at AnimeFMK on Twitter. You can also find me at Soul_King777, where you can see me on Twitter shouting about cute lesbians MIOC Sylvina.
Now, is the Twitter Anime FMK or FMK Anime?
I think it's FMK Anime. I'll post it in chat.
Post it in chat. Gilly, where can they find you?
They can't.
Oh shit, have you gone dark again?
I'm not. It's not like I'm really doing anything with any of the channels I use.
Yeah,
I
fair enough.
have.
Fair enough. So yeah,
I kind of wish I talked about that. Kind of wish I talked about the 100 Man Isekai because it's getting a second season too.
we can't keep up
This
with
in
all
the
the
summer.
shows. And as always, guys, you can catch me, Dalaran, at twitch.tv/Dalaron Quest. That's DALARON Quest. We're doing Outer Worlds, and I might be doing a new game project with some friends. But that being said, what actually I would like to divert your attention to is 2 weeks ago I put out a voice demo reel and a character demo reel. It's me doing a little bit of dipping my toes into voice acting, something I've been wanting to do but have hesitated for years, if not a decade at this point. So please feel free to give it a look, maybe even a share, and drop some feedback in the comments, because I've said it once and I'll say it again. The only way we grow is by communicating. So, yeah, appreciate you guys. And the last episode is going to be of FMK is going to be up on YouTube today or tomorrow, and then the finale should be up later this week. And in the meantime, join our Discord. If you're in the Discord, drop your picks. Let's see how much contention we have over our marriages and how many people would like to join a polyamorous union with one, if not all, of our three hosts.
I don't swing that way.
Hmm?
I don't swing that way. Be a
Well,
lot of
you
luck.
know, there are many Moriartys.
Said I went for any of the Moriartys.
I mean, Meep's already going to be clawing after Sherlock, we know that.
I said I went after that. I like Sebastian Moran.
All right. Meep, are you back?
I've been here.
Ah, excellent. Well,
I was playing
guys.
Discord
Yeah.
on Twitch.
All right, guys. As always, I mean, I guess I'm bad at goodbye, so bye, everybody.
See you all next week for the awards.
Bye. Have a great time.